Hi, Secretary of State Denny Hoskins here in Jefferson City, home of Missouri State Capitol. I have the statue of Thomas Jefferson right behind me, one of the founders of this great nation. You know, Thomas Jefferson said, "We aren't governed by a majority, but we are governed by a majority that participate." That's why I want to make sure that everyone gets out and vote on Tuesday, August 4th. Make your voice be heard. Thank you.
So there you have Secretary of State of Missouri telling you, get out and vote. It's lunchtime. Hopefully you're out there and you're voting. Maybe right now you're getting your lunchtime sandwich and casting your ballot. Lots of different things on the ballot for Missourians today. And we've got the experts, Marc Cox and Marc Reardon, coming on the show this afternoon to give us an update, give us their thoughts, talk about how they feel the participation, what they're hearing on the streets. Marc Cox will be with us in 25 minutes to, I think he's, Brad, did you say he's actually going to be at a polling place?
That's what he told me yesterday. He'll be at a polling place.
Okay, hopefully that's legal. I assume he knows the rules there. So Marc Cox talked to us about Missouri today, and at 2:30 Marc Reardon is going to join us, so we're going to cover it in the noon hour and the 2 o'clock hour. I would love to get your text messages throughout the course of the day, of course on the YouTube live chat poll, which I'll get to here in a minute, but also just your experience of what you're dealing with, if you've gone to vote, or if you what number voter were you? I think I saw it was a comment here from, let's see here, let me pull this comment up that I saw from Scooter. Went to vote, and he said he was voter 165 at his precinct. He made this comment on our YouTube live at 11:25 a.m. He said bit higher than April when county turnout was 21%. Looks like Denny Hoskins' 32% turnout prediction will be accurate. Well versed in turnout there, Scoots. Thanks. So what are you experiencing? Are you, that whole phrase, make a plan to vote. Every time I hear, are there any Republicans who are out there using the phrase, make a plan to vote? I don't think that there are. I think it's a very lefty thing to do. But if you have made a plan to vote, when is it? Have you done it already? Did you vote early? Blah, blah, blah. Let us know. 314-241-9797. I am very curious to see if Marc Reardon's prediction, when Marc and Marc were on with us together last Wednesday, I'm curious if his prediction that 4 and 5 were going to go down in flames, I don't know if that was the exact wording that he used, if that comes to be. And he said, and Marc Cox said, and a lot of you said, that the messaging on 4 and 5 has been very confusing, very convoluted, and that's probably one of the main reasons why it won't be successful and pass. If you want to eliminate Missouri's state income tax, you got to vote yes on 5. I know adamantly Marc and Marc are both yeses on 4 and 5. If you don't know this, if you're tuning in for the first time, or you haven't heard me say, I live in Illinois, so I don't get to vote today in the Missouri primary, but I am encouraging you to participate. I love a good primary election because your vote seems to matter even more because turnout is the name of the game. To what Denny Hoskins just said there, it's a democracy for those who participate, because if you decide to sit this out, if you decide to not weigh in on a primary day, you're diminishing your say in this democratic republic that we have. So get up and get out. And if you have questions for Marc Cox and Marc Reardon, send them to the text line and say, here's a question for Marc. If you want it to be for Marc Cox, did you know his name is Marc with a C and Marc Reardon is Marc with a K, which is super helpful when you've got 2 Marcs on the same radio station. So now we always know who people are talking about. The YouTube poll for today, this story is getting wilder and wilder because the thought games that I'm experiencing in my head are entertaining to process. Clay Travis of Outkick, which if you don't go to Outkick.com, I'm telling you, you're missing out. If you go to news sites every day, you circle through Fox News, maybe you go to the Blaze, or is Breitbart still a thing? I don't even know. You like to dabble because you're a voyeur and you can't help it. CNN, maybe. Emma's Now. Go to Outkick.com and take in the content that they put out there because it's a really interesting, different lane that you can go down that's still going to scratch your itch, especially if you, like me, like sports, but also care about the culture. So Outkick's founder, Clay Travis, has put an offer out that I don't know how people can refuse. I don't know how the WNBA, other than just the only option that they have right now is to pretend that they don't even know that this exists. Because there's no real response that is going to make the WNBA walk out of this, I don't think, with some sort of integrity. And the bet is Clay Travis has offered $10 million to the Las Vegas Aces. Now, the Las Vegas Aces, that's a WNBA team, of course, to play a boys state, high school state champion team of his choosing. So if the Las Vegas Aces are willing to play a high school state championship team of Clay Travis's choosing, and if they win, he will give the Las Vegas Aces $10 million. This is incredible. If the high school team wins, he's going to give the $10 million to that high school team, and they can divvy it up however they see fit.
Remember, I offered $1 million if the WNBA champ, which is right now the Las Vegas Aces, I believe, if they would play a boys high school state championship team of my choosing, I would give $1 million to the winning team. Buck, I will now give $10 million to the winning team. We will put this on pay-per-view. We will send all the profits, of which there will be probably tens of millions, to Tunnel to Towers, T2T.org, our good friends there, for mortgage-free homes for veterans, the families of veterans, first responders, police, people who have lost their lives defending this country. $10 million. I will wheel it out. I don't even know how much space $10 million. We'll dump truck it out, put it in the arena. A boys' high school team will get $10 million if they win the WNBA. They say that they're underpaid. They say that they're as good as men. Let's decide it once and for all. And I think you have to be hyperbolic to respond to the absurdity here, because if you are not, then they will just continue to chirp. They'll continue to talk. So I think you have to put money behind your words. I am taking them at their words, and I will put $10 million, boys high school team, state champ of my choice, versus WNBA.
So that is, I think, from his radio show, Clay and Buck. And yeah, I understand that he's got a radio show and this Outkick.com outlet, which I really appreciate all of the stuff that they put out there. He's saying, here's $10 million. The Fox News report on this with the Outkick.com coverage highlights the continued struggle that the WNBA is experiencing, receiving a very generous offer to live up to the league's stated political views and ideology. Ian Miller writes, when Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham publicly stated that she believed women's sports should be for women and not biological males, it set off a firestorm of hatred, anger, and public rebukes from much of the league. They go on to say that Travis, who's made such offers in the past, upped it Monday afternoon. Important announcement. I'm upping my offer to $10 million, as we just heard from him. Ian Miller writes, $10 million, by the way, represents nearly a third of the Aces' estimated total revenue of $33 million. And all they have to do is play a high school boys state title team and beat them. That's all that they have to do. Play the boys, high school team, and win. Shouldn't be hard, right? Ian Miller writes. After all, there's no difference between males and females, right? Fever head coach Stephanie White said she grew up playing with the boys, right? I always go back to this, the South Carolina girls basketball program, which is one of the most successful girls college basketball programs there is. Coach Dawn Staley there will regularly talk about how their practice squad is like the club boys basketball team in the college. These are boys that didn't make the college men's team. They scrimmaged the girls. Stephanie White is the Fever coach. She said, I don't know what I would say that I would say I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I just have to pause and inhale and exhale when I hear these people talk this stupid. They're pleading ignorance, just abject ignorance. And we're all supposed to go, oh, well, that makes sense. She doesn't want to get out over her skis. You know, the difference between boys and girls. My 5-year-old Molly can understand the difference between boys and girls. So can Stephanie White. our YouTube poll for today: who would win in a game between the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team, and a boys high school state championship team of Outkick's Clay Travis's choosing? That's the poll. Las Vegas Aces or the boys high school state champs? We want you to come to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and you can vote there and tell us who you think would win in that competition. And listen, it's the Annie Frey Show audience. I assume that there's going to be a majority of people here who are going to say that the boys are going to win. But is there any common sense out there? Can anybody advocate for a reason why they think these girls would win? And if it's split, maybe 20-80 or something like that, in favor of the Aces being able to win, there's $10 million on the line. Go win. The lack of response that the WNBA is likely going to provide is the answer to the question. Certainly. YouTube.com/@AnnieFrey. Go vote and tell us why you voted the way you did. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. Text us on the poll, but also text us on the actual polls, the ones where you go vote today in the state of Missouri. It's Missouri Primary Day. You got to get your vote in today. Amendment 4, Amendment 5, a lot of primaries, county executives, all that for you to choose from. We'll be right back with Chad Pergram.
His agenda for Missouri? Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley in the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
off yet one more of our toes. I would put a clean, because we'll be blamed for the shutdown. Yeah. I would put a clean CR on the floor with none of this foolishness in it. And if Senator Schumer wants to shut down government at the behest of the Graham Plattner wing of his party, he should knock himself out. Right. I don't think he'll do it, but he might.
All right. Well, we have a conclusion on that, as I understand. That was Senator John Kennedy on Meet the Press talking about a potential government. We're in shutdown season again, folks. You'd think it comes once a year, but not anymore. We get a few opportunities to celebrate this recurring holiday. But I guess maybe we've avoided possibly Chuck Schumer kind of stunned everybody. Let's get to the bottom of that story. Chad Pergram joins us once again, chief congressional correspondent for Fox News on X at Chad Pergram. Chad, welcome back. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Talk to us about the non-shutdown. Are we going to avoid one maybe for a moment at least?
Maybe. I mean, it's not done. That's for sure. But the Senate has, been able to cross a key procedural hurdle here. They had, almost 90 votes for this interim spending bill that would fund the government through early December. It's not the same bill that the House passed. They've not passed it in the Senate yet. I expect them to do that before the end of the week. And then they would pivot and see what if the House can eat that when they come back at the end of August, 1st of September. Now, if they are able to clear the deck on that, that is a big deal. Just because, there was a school of thought here. You heard Republicans always saying, Democrats want to shut the government down. Mm-hmm. Between you and me, I always thought that was a little bit of spin, frankly, from the Republicans. But Democrats, I want to know exactly what pound of flesh they extracted from their shutdown last fall. Now they might have ingratiated themselves with their Democratic voters, saying they were fighting for health care and all that. But a lot of times this doesn't, wash up in the electoral result. So I think that people saying, okay, we're going to have another government shutdown and just the chaos it would provide and everything else. Now, here's the wild card. I wonder, and I'm going to play some real multi-level chess here. Remember on Star Trek, you see them playing yes. Mr. Spock and everything? Okay. I wonder if the Democrats have called the president's bluff because they're not going to pass the Save America Act. And he has insisted that they put that on every piece of legislation. Now, I wonder if, letting history be our guide, how he did not sign the bipartisan housing bill, and it became law just a couple of months ago. I wonder if he might refuse to sign this interim spending bill unless they attach the Save America Act to it, which would be a poison pill for the Democrats. And then the Democrats turn around and say, Mr. President, we worked with everybody. There's, X number of House members, X number of, Senate members, bipartisan, and you shut down the government. And this is all on him. I'm thinking ahead here.
Sure.
Just based on, as I say, history being our guide. So we'll see come fall.
Well, I think that it's definitely something, of course, everybody is always trying to anticipate the future. And it seems to me like instead of focusing on, you can correct me here because you work on Capitol Hill, but it seems that a lot of Congress spends their time not necessarily like really striving to accomplish things, but just try to make sure that when everything crashes, that the other side gets the blame.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Probably a little bit of both of there.
But this is what happens in politics. They conduct policy in a political environment, as John Boehner, the former speaker, would say. And so the idea that people are trying to one up the other or trying to get ahead or make the other side look bad or, see if somebody overplays their hand, then, okay, that's what they've got. The Democrats think that might work to their benefit, especially right before the election.
Well, so we will continue to watch and see what happens. The budget process, give us just the 100 level class, not even 101. We're not quite there yet, on how the budgeting, the thing that normally leads into the government shutdown. It seems like a lot of times this is happening right before Christmas, but we're talking
right
about
before
it right
October
now.
1st is usually the deadline. And then they usually punt. Now, we could be wrestling with this again just before Christmas in early December because that's the new deadline if they pass this. But I think that will be dictated on by which party wins the midterms or if it's a split or if Republicans retain both houses or whatever. So we might be out of the woods for a bit, but maybe not that long. And that's why, Christmas comes but once a year. And it's always very special on Capitol Hill.
Sure. All right, we're speaking with Chad Pergram right now, chief congressional correspondent for Fox News. You mentioned the midterms. It's going to be a huge factor, I would presume, in how the Republican majority in the House and the Senate act going into when that new Congress would be installed at the beginning of January of 2027. Do you get the vibe at all that these, what is it, 3 Republican senators that were primaried or not returning that don't love Donald Trump, no love lost there at all? Mm-hmm. If let's say that Republicans end up losing the House, which is
two who were primaried, one who decided to not seek re-election, Tom Tillis.
Okay, good detail there. If the Republicans lose the House, which is historically reliable, that would likely be the outcome, do you get the vibe at all that those senators might be willing to play ball a little bit in that window of time where they still retain the majority in the House and the Senate, Republicans do? Or do you feel like they would sour even more?
I don't think that following members in lame duck Congresses that they change their views that much or their positions that much. A lot of people say, they'll just vote for anything just to get out of here. People say that. My experience and watching these lawmakers, regardless of why they aren't coming back or decided to retire on their own, you don't see people stray from their views very much. Now, people have talked about Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, John Cornyn of Texas, certainly having some different views a little bit and making a little more trouble for the president in recent months. They certainly didn't in the Judiciary Committee today because they greenlighted Todd Blanche's nomination. Certainly Senator Cornyn and Tom Tillis did. Bill Cassidy's not on that committee today. They had some reservations with his nomination, and then they came around here over the weekend. But you generally don't see people just saying, okay, I'm just going to stick it to somebody going out the door or whatever. No, people still take this very seriously, typically, and say, I'm going to represent my people the best I can.
Chad Pergram speaking with us right now. So let's talk a little bit about the Todd Blanche nomination process. There was quite a hang-up. I think I read on some X posts that maybe Chuck Grassley had a lot to do with bringing all the sides together to come make this this nomination be possible, to get it out of committee. What is the hang-up on Blanche, and does it look like after he has now been moved out of committee, as I understand it, that he will be able to be confirmed?
Well, the issue was the weaponization fund, and the issue was the president's shield on the IRS tax returns. What I think is very interesting about this, and this has gotten zero reporting, that on one hand, when Todd Blanche sent the document and said, okay, we are killing the weaponization fund, at the same time, the DOJ appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals on the same issue. Now, is this issue alive or dead? Nobody has covered that. And Dick Durbin, the Democratic whip, who is also the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee, said today, he said the way that agreement is written that seemed to mollify Tom Tillis and John Cornyn. He said, I don't see any reason why the president wouldn't just be able to resuscitate this and bring it back if he wanted. And he will. He got the votes he wanted with Todd Blanche, and so guess what? It'll be done. Now, to be clear, Todd Blanche is not confirmed on the Senate floor. That will probably happen, though, I would suspect, later this week. There are still a couple of Republican senators that they have to get on board. You can lose a couple. Mitch McConnell continues to be out. It's not an issue of J.D. Vance breaking a tie because you've got an odd number of senators, unless it's like 48-48 and people are absent or something. He can only vote if it is a tie. So I think that getting him out of committee probably unlocks some votes on the Republican side of the aisle, where you had people like maybe John Curtis and Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, maybe Susan Collins of Maine, who said, I'm not going to vote for somebody who gets a bad recommendation out of the Judiciary Committee. Well, they got a favorable vote, and that's what they said. You could send somebody to the floor with a unfavorable recommendation, no recommendation, or a favorable one. You just have to get it out of committee. They were able to do that with a favorable one, and people who don't serve on that committee, which are some of the senators I just mentioned, they are looking for guidance from their colleagues. And so that might unlock those votes, and that's probably why he will be confirmed later this week.
Chad Pergram, I know I only have like a minute left with you, but you mentioned Mitch McConnell, and I think that is a question that a lot of people have. Where is he? How is he? What's the situation there? What are the obligations that the senator has to the Senate and to the people of Kentucky he represents?
Well, that's a question that I have asked dating back to the Tom Kean Jr. situation, the Republican representative from New Jersey who was gone for a protracted period of time this spring, didn't really give any guidance or update on what his condition was until the end. And at the time, I had asked Mike Johnson the day that Tom Kean Jr. came back, and I said, what is his obligation, to the voters? And I think that most voters believe that they deserve a little more information. They elected these folks. And in the case of Kean and in the case of McConnell, they haven't gotten much. Now, Tom Kean Jr., at the end, he did explain what his situation was. He was suffering from mental health problems and needed hospitalization. McConnell, we have a little more information, but not a lot. And, does he continue to serve out the balance of this term? He's done January 3rd at 11:59 in the morning, so it's not that much longer. But that does put the Republican majority at a deficit for at least, he hasn't been here since June. He's not going to be here this week. We believe that they will be out for most of August and the first part of September. Do we see him sometime around early to mid-September? We don't know.
Has he spoken to anybody in the press or anything since he's been out? Nope.
No, we've seen these two photographs. And as you might imagine, and this was the same, see, this is what happens. Nothing can exist in a vacuum. And that's why you start to get all this wild conjecture about what his condition might be, whether he's even with us anymore. The same to a lesser degree with Tom Kean Jr. We see this all the time. And people say, well, why can't we just, remove them from office? Well, you can't. Constitution gives pretty clear guidelines of what the qualifications are to be in the Senate or be in the House. And to add something on top of that, you can't say, well, if he's sick or misses so many votes, now if they put that in the Constitution, great. It's not in the Constitution. So you can be elected and never show up at all.
Wow.
You don't have to do anything, and there's no way they can get back at you unless they decide to expel you, which the Constitution, if you look at that, is very vague on why they could expel. It just says 2/3. So if you got 2/3, you could expel anybody for anything, for jaywalking if you wanted. But, they generally don't do that for health. And why? Especially in the Senate, they will say to you privately, there I go, but for the grace of God. It's Mitch McConnell today. It could be me tomorrow.
All right. Well, Chad Pergram, that's an update that a lot of people are wanting to hear about. We appreciate your details there, and we'll have you back again soon. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Chad Pergram, Chief Congressional Correspondent for Fox News, on X at Chad Pergram. Important updates there. We're going to return in just a minute. Marc Cox is going to join us. From my understanding, maybe from a polling place, he's going to talk to us about what he's experiencing, what he's hearing on the ground there, and answer any questions that you might have about the Missouri primary election today. If you haven't voted yet, please text us at 314-241-9797, and maybe we'll feature some of your questions with Marc Cox on the Annie Frey Show next.
Through and get up on your roof for free to see what's going on. If you've got damage, I can't think of anyone better to work with your insurance adjuster to get that coverage. Recently, Curtis went to bat for one of his customers and got her coverage from 2024 storm damage with 2024 deductibles. He works hard at this and he prides himself, and he took his whole crew to Kansas City recently for additional training working with adjusters to make sure you get what you deserve. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience, and it doesn't matter what kind of shingles you need, they've got you covered. 314-222-9529. That's 314-222-9529. Tell them Marc sent you. Go to CorelRoofingCo.com.
42% of Missouri fourth graders can barely read. 42%. It's the worst result in 20 years. If kids can't read by third grade, they fall behind in school, and many never catch up. But other states have provided a roadmap for success. Missouri needs one universal reading test for all third graders and one clear statewide standard for what it means to pass that test. A struggling reader who still can't read after extra help and a second chance at the test should repeat third grade with some exemptions. We also need to end the outdated 3Qing method, which encourages guessing instead of reading, and require teachers to be trained in the science of reading. In Mississippi and Indiana, test scores jumped up dramatically after these reforms, and Missouri can do the same. Missouri children deserve to become confident, capable readers, and strong early literacy reforms can make it happen. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by the Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The YouTube live chat poll: who would win in a game between the WNBA Las Vegas Aces and a boys high school state championship team of Outkick, Clay Travis choosing the Las Vegas Aces or the boys high school state champs? Those are your options for today's YouTube live chat poll. Go and vote on the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel. We're going to be having those results in a couple of hours here. Very intrigued to see what these results are going to look like today. The time is 12:35. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
All right, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show, Missouri Primary Day. This is the day that Marc Cox has been waiting for, and we've been waiting to talk to him. He's with us right now, I think, on location from his truck at an undisclosed place wearing a T-shirt that, Marc, I think I made that T-shirt about 10, 15 years ago. That's a nice shirt.
2016, I think, Annie, is when you made this T-shirt for election night coverage on Donald Trump's first election.
So, okay, where are you right now? What are you doing? What's going on?
So I am at a polling place in Lake St. Louis. I've endorsed a number of candidates out here in this primary election. One of them is Jen Olson, who's running for director of elections, and they needed a little help out here holding a sign for her today. So I agreed to do it for about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been sitting out here in the beautiful weather, greeting voters, and it has been busy. Let me tell you. Now, maybe it's because it's lunchtime, but there have been a lot of people in and out of here.
Maybe it's because it's you, Marc Cox. People want to see you. So you're feeling good about the turnout, at least at that location, anecdotally?
I do feel good about the turnout here. I have a friend who voted at Brookdale Farms in Eureka today and told me that by 11 o'clock they'd had close to 500 people vote down there. So those are indications that for a primary election, I think the turnout is going to be decent. And what is decent? The Secretary of State, Denny Hoskins, was speculating that we might get 32% turnout today is what they thought. So, that's not as good as I'd like. I think it should always be 50 or 60, but that never happens in a primary, which is a shame because we have key decisions are being made today. These aren't things that we're going to vote on today and then get to vote again in November. These 4 propositions will be finalized at the end of the day.
All right, let's talk. Let's talk about what is on the ballot for Missourians right now. And a reminder to our listeners: if you want to text questions for Marc Cox, 314-241-9797. Ethan is here monitoring the text line, waiting for listener thoughts. If you want to field them our way, 314-241-9797. Highlight the ballot for me. I know that in a primary like what we're experiencing today, there might be a lot of specific things in specific locations, but the high 30,000 level foot view, Marc, what do you want people to know about their ballot today?
Yeah, everyone in Missouri will vote on the 4 amendments that are on the ballot. Amendment 1 deals with a state parks tax. For some reason, this is in the Missouri Constitution. Every 10 years, it has to be renewed, and I'm opposed to it. I'm a no, not because I don't like the parks, but because it evades the budget process. For me, it's a principle thing. Why should that department get a guaranteed $140 million a year that comes straight out of the Constitution and doesn't have to go through the budgeting process? That makes no sense to me. So my argument is people should vote no, so that they have to go to our legislators who represent us and ask for the money and justify it if they want it. So I'm a no on Amendment 1. And then we have Amendment 2, Annie, that deals with guaranteeing that every county in Missouri has to have an elected assessor. Right now, only one county does not, and that's over on the Kansas City side, Jackson County. But this would guarantee that all counties would have to have an elected assessor and not somebody that the county executive could manipulate, right? Because you don't want somebody raising your property value just because the county needs more money. This helps avoid that. So I'm a yes on 2. I'm a yes on 4. 4 is the initiative petition process. It changes the requirement for a citizen-led initiative petition to guarantee that it has to get 50% of the vote plus 1 vote in all 8 Missouri congressional districts. Simple. It prevents the masses in St. Louis or Kansas City from overwhelming everybody else and just passing whatever they want on a straight majority. Because we're not a raw democracy, we're a representative republic, and currently the process is abused by people like George Soros. So that's why I'm a yes on Amendment 4.
Amendment 5, Missouri income tax.
Yes, we have an opportunity, a historic opportunity in Missouri as conservatives to eliminate the income tax. Man. And I've struggled understanding some of my listeners who've texted in and who've been on social media who are conservatives but who are opposed to this idea. And for most of them, the concern is, well, what are they going to replace it with? Well, they're going to the sales tax will have to go up to offset it, right? Everybody's going to be paying that. It's not going to go up a ridiculous amount. But for people that earn a living, I would like to have some control over that, right? Family of 4 making $100,000, that's an extra $5,000 in their pocket that they get to decide how to spend, not the state. And for me, this is a principal issue. We may never get this opportunity again. There are 5 other states that already have 0 income tax, including Tennessee and Florida and Nevada and Texas, and there's one more. And there are 6 others that are heading in that direction. They've already passed laws that are going to eliminate their income tax. So Missouri's going to be an outlier with some of these blue states if we don't vote yes and get rid of this income tax.
You know, I'm thinking about the way it's set up right now, of course, in Missouri. I live in Illinois, obviously, but if you remove the income tax, the state income tax, you remove that burden from Missourians. If you increase the sales tax and you have tourist destinations like St. Louis, guess what? Illinois residents who come over across the state line to watch the St. Louis Cardinals, to go see a show, to visit the zoo, whatever, you're going to be making, I think about Florida and all of the people flocking to Florida who are coming there and paying those types of taxes. You're actually benefiting more from the people who are coming there without having to put it all on the backs of Missouri residents and the money that they're making. Ethan's got a text here from the text line at 314-241-9797. Marc, Ethan, go ahead.
Hey, Marc, question here from the 618, so one of those Illinois residents regarding the sales tax, wondering why the amount of the sales tax increase isn't being included on the ballot. What do you know about that?
Well, the idea here is that this would be a slow transition, maybe 5 or 6 years. And as new revenue came in, they would decrease the income tax. So it's designed to be revenue neutral, with the idea that once the income tax starts going down, the economy is going to be boosted in Missouri. That's why it's not clear how much sales tax is going to have to be increased, because more people will be paying, right? A higher amount. We don't know how much money that's going to bring in. So they didn't want to tie their hands by saying, we're only going to increase it 2%, or we're only going to increase it 3%, because right now it's not clear what that amount of money is going to be. And because it has to be revenue neutral, I want to make very clear here, they can't bring in more money than they're currently bringing in. If they do, the Hancock Amendment says they have to give that back to the voters. So they were trying to be as conservative as they could, and everybody seems upset that they didn't put a strict percentage increase on there, but they really can't, because how much that amount of money is going to be immediately. What the governor did tell me yesterday on my show, and I've got this up on my Facebook page, is that he would veto any bill that tried to raise sales tax on medical appointments, on real estate transactions, or on senior citizens services. He said he would veto that. So we know those aren't going to increase. I'm really surprised people are as panicked as they are. We're in a supermajority red state, not a supermajority blue state like Illinois. So you don't have a group of people anxious to raise taxes all the time.
Have a text from the 314 here, Mark, asking about a little bit of information on St. Louis County's Proposition U and Proposition C and how you'll be voting on those.
Good point. So I'm in St. Charles County now. I will not be voting on them. However, if I was, I would be voting no on both of them. St. Louis County has a problem. St. Louis County's problem is it's been run by the same party for 40 years. The last time there was a Republican county executive in St. Louis County was in the late 80s. And since then, the Democrats have controlled the county council, which is the budgeting process, and they've controlled the county executive's office. In that period of time, they've mismanaged it to the point that they're in a deficit right now. They can't manage their own budgets. Why would you give them more money? They can't deal with what they've got. And I would argue that you vote no on Prop U and make them make some budget cuts before they come back to the voters and ask for more cash. What this would do is raise an internet tax. So anything people in St. Louis County bought on the internet, that would be taxed, and that money would go to St. Louis County and to a few of the municipalities, and some of it would go to the zoo. So I'm a no on that. Prop C is a little more technical. Prop C changes St. Louis County ordinance to match the state, which says within 10 months, currently within 10 months of an election, St. Louis County Council can't vote to raise the pay of an elected official. The state doesn't have that requirement, and for some reason the county wants to do away with that requirement, and I'm not going to give them that power. I think they should maintain it the way it is. So I'm a no on C, and I'm a no on U.
All right, Marc Cox, we got to run here. We appreciate your time today from your truck at the polling place right now. You said in Lake St. Louis. Real quick before we let you go, I know you've put a lot of time and effort into making your thoughts on the Missouri primary election very accessible for people. Talk to our listeners here on the Annie Frey Show as to where they can find that written down for them before they go vote. It's
pretty easy. You can just go to 971talk.com. It is pinned to the top of the page. So the minute you open up that webpage, you'll see the Marc Cox primary voter guide right there, and there's a way to download it to your phone.
All right, Mark. I hope for a good day for you folks. I'm sitting on the communist side of the river just longing for the question of should we get rid of the state income tax. It's just like a fantasy from the east side of the Mississippi. So good luck to you.
Well said, Annie. Yes on 4, yes on 5.
Got it. Thanks, Mark. We will maybe we'll follow up with you after we get the results tonight. Good to have you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Take care, Mark. Marc Reardon is going to be with us at 2:30 today. No, Illinois is not communist. In fact, if you ever look at a county map, 102 counties in the state of Illinois. I'm going to get hate mail for that.
Uh-oh.
You think Illinois is communist? I'm like, you think they're not? You make your point first. You tell me why they're not. 102 counties in the state of Illinois. Democrat governors win maybe 3 of them.
Wow. That is just
maybe
crazy.
Maybe 3. I think Quinn in 14 was Rauner. So in 2010, I think Quinn won 3 counties, and Cook County, obviously, one of the Quad Cities up in the northwest of the state, and St. Clair County, I think, right over here. And the 2 counties that weren't Cook County, he won by hundreds of votes, maybe.
Wow. It's crazy.
It's a really red state by county, but I get it. I understand. Chicago's got a lot of people. Let's take a break. Marc Reardon at 2:30 on the Missouri primary. Keep sending us your text if you have questions you want to ask Reardon then about the primary process. But a whole pack show today. Ethan's America in for Ryan. You got a banger for us here in a couple minutes?
Oh, we're going to cook.
All right. Well, we went long with Mark Cox, and that was my gift to you.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
We'll be right back with Ethan's America next. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. This is a smart call to make when you've got foundation concerns. Even if you're not 100% sure, like, is it get it before it gets really bad. That's a smart move. 314-271-9900. If you're not sure, is this really bad or is this starting to be something, contact Matt Hayes. Have him come give you a free estimate on your situation and go with an expert. Read the reviews, man. Home Shield Foundation Repair. They do quality work. They back it up. And right now, if you do go into that process of waterproofing your basement, guess what? 2 years, 24 months, 0% financing. Smart move for you that they can handle and help you with all of that top to bottom and make sure that your basement is waterproofed once and for all so you don't have to worry about it anymore. 314-271-9900. Call Matt Hayes. You know, they're a St. Louis business, family owned and operated, waiting to service your basement next. Just give them a call at 314-271-9900. You can find them online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey, it's Marc Reardon, Guns N' Roses.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC, Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
Not Wiggins America. Ethan's America. Ethan's America.
I tell you what, the things that get thrown at you right before you go on air.
I have
just unbelievable.
I have so many ideas, Ethan.
Gee whiz.
You don't even know the half of it.
Annie, what generation? What's your generation?
I'm a millennial, but I would refer to myself as an elder millennial because at the microphone, because I was born in 1984, and I think millennials start. There's an argument over 80 to 81.
So you're not a baby boomer.
This is the meanest thing you've ever said to me. You can't even say it with a straight face.
I didn't know it was really mean.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see. All my
Let's
fine
take a look
lines
here.
and wrinkles and gray hair.
Baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. Well, baby boomers, they hate today's grocery stores. They're not a fan of them.
Oh, I know one thing on this list already.
Oh, I bet you do. We've talked about it before.
Well, can I suggest one thing?
Sure.
I've heard my parents really have a problem with the big carts of the personal shoppers, the people who are filling orders for the drive-up thing.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Well, maybe there's probably other things, but my parents have told me they're like they go to Walmart to do their grocery shopping, and there's all these people with these huge carts that are employees, and they're filling the drive-up orders, the pickup orders. And they find the carts to be a hindrance to their shopping
Are the carts
experience.
larger than regular carts?
Oh, yeah. They're like industrial size because they're filling a bunch of orders.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I don't know if that's on there, but anyway.
We shall wait and see. I'm curious, though, to see how much of those leaks into the next generation, Generation X, and then millennials, which is where Annie Frey falls into 1981 to 1996. Definitely, more so on the later part of that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this list. Number one thing that baby boomers hate about today's grocery stores is self-checkout. When asked to choose between self-checkout and cashier-assisted checkout, each with equal lines, 62% of respondents to a survey age 65 plus said they preferred cashier-assisted checkout compared to 34% who said that they like the self-checkout. 50% of respondents aged 45 through 64 said they preferred checking out with the cashier. 44% said that they would choose self-checkout. And this number continues to rise the younger that you get. 18 through 29
every
is
time, please.
50% plus among 18 through 29. Why do you like self-checkout?
The simple answer is because I'm in full control of the situation. In, out, as fast as I can go, slow as I want to go. Me.
The one part I do feel kind of bad about is I feel like I'm, and this isn't nearly as much now as it was, a couple years back when this was still a little newer, but back then it felt like you were taking jobs away from people. Now I feel like we're kind of adjusting to it.
No, those people are not cashiers anymore. They're carrying huge carts through the aisles and personal shopping for people now.
No, that's a good point. That's a fair point. They also hate searching for products. Grocery stores carefully arrange products to encourage shoppers to spend more time in the store, buy more items. Frequent product relocations were another common complaint in the responses during this survey. They also hate digital coupons.
They love coupons. They hit them when they're digital.
Neglected shopping carts. They want you to take care of the shopping carts.
Yeah.
The bumps in the wheels. They don't like that.
Yeah. When you're going, wait, all through the grocery store.
And sold out products.
Okay, we can maybe touch base with that a little bit here coming up. Carafano, when we come back, don't go away.
Don't advertise that much. I was leaving a customer's home and I was out in Illinois, and as I was driving away, my fan for my air conditioner went out. I had to cross back over into St. Louis where there was bridge construction, so massive rush hour, backed up traffic, windows down, sweating. I had to take it straight to the dealership to drop it off because there's no way I can function, much less work, without air conditioning in my truck. And I'm the same way in my house, and every homeowner, not every homeowner, but most homeowners are the exact same way. So if you're experiencing difficulties with your air conditioner, meaning you have none, call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Call me. God bless.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. usmensmedicalcenter.com.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Marc Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Somewhere close to home, your new best friend is waiting. At the Humane Society of Missouri, we give animals in need the second chance they deserve, so you can find the one who's been waiting for you. Visit hsmo.org/adopt.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The acting attorney general is stepped closer to confirmation. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. The Senate Judiciary Committee voting today to send Todd Blanche's nomination to the Senate floor. The committee votes 10-12, right down party lines.
Committee Chair Republican Chuck Grassley.
I'm not only voting to advance Todd Blanche's nomination, I'm voting for the safety of the American people.
Ranking Member Democrat Dick Durbin.
Mr. Blanche continues to operate as the president's personal lawyer, treating the Justice Department like a law firm serving one client.
The vote followed a breakthrough with holdout Republicans, Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, over now settled concerns of an anti-weaponization fund tied to President Trump's IRS lawsuit settlement.
Fox's Jeff Manasso, the full Senate vote expected later this week. The Justice Department's healthcare fraud task force has charged 19 people with cheating Pennsylvania's Medicaid system out of more than $4 million.
In one case, we charged 2 home health aides and 2 purported patients with causing over $400,000 in false claims to Medicaid for services the aides supposedly performed when, get this, they were actually hospitalized, working at other jobs, and even in jail.
Assistant Attorney General Colin McDonald. Iran's foreign ministry says talks with Oman on opening the Strait of Hormuz are making progress on technical and political issues. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying earlier today an agreement could come within days. That's pushed crude oil prices lower again below $76 a barrel. The pump price for a gallon of gas has ticked down slightly. Wall Street is blazing new records again today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is now up more than 1,000 points, cresting the 54,000 level for the first time ever. NASDAQ is ahead by more than 660 points. The S&P 500 up 140. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We keep the full sunshine going on this Tuesday afternoon, and let's warm it up to about 89 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 69 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny. Let's call it warm. 91 degrees, that's the hottest day of the week is Wednesday afternoon. Showers late Wednesday night and Thursday. Scattered showers and some thunderstorms, 85 on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist, Dave Marc.
Energy price. Japan is a substantial importer of energy from the Gulf, and we've seen President Trump last week threatened what would have been one of the largest military campaigns, or the largest military campaign since World War II, against the Iranians. And now because of that, we are in talks with the Iranians, and I think there is a chance we may have a deal today or tomorrow to open the strait and move towards a more normalized position in this conflict. And that's because their Air Force is wiped out, their Navy is wiped out, substantial portion of their missiles are wiped out. More importantly, their missile production capability is wiped out. So, anything that happens in the Gulf will benefit Japan and indeed the rest of the world, Joe.
So you have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about a potential deal to open the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, that's this is from this morning on CNBC. Where are we in this timeline? And have we been here before? Is this different than the last however many times? Let's ask our friend, retired Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, who's with us right now. Senior Counselor to Heritage President Kevin Roberts, also E.W. Richardson Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Thanks for being with us again, Jim. What's the situation right now with Iran?
Well, I don't care. Look, it reminds me, remember the old Tarzan movies where you got in the quicksand and then the more you struggle, the faster you sunk?
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's kind of the Iranians. I mean, Trump has all the leverage in the world here, and every time the Iranians act aggressive or reject a deal, Trump takes another bite out of them, and it just extends the timeline even longer, on which there actually could possibly be a significant threat to the U.S. So I'm not sure how all this unfolds. I just think the U.S. has all the cards. We're never going to $200 a barrel oil. The Democrats aren't going to all get elected and demand the U.S. abandon it. So I don't know what the Iraqis are waiting for, but every time they try to leverage the U.S., they wind up weaker than they were before. So I think what are the things that really, really matter? Progress on reconstruction. You heard we just had a agreement on the disarming Hamas in Gaza. Mm-hmm. Collective security. We see the countries in the region working closely more every day. Economic integration. We see, the Israelis actually talking to the Saudis about sharing an oil pipeline. The Iraqis cutting a major deal with the U.S. So the things that in the long term are going to bring stability and security to the region, they really matter because we've humbled Iran. Iran's not the problem right now. So I'm focusing on those other things because I think they're going to be much more consequential and much more important than what an Iran deal looks like if we ever get to an Iran deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that sentiment because I don't know that there has to be a pen and paper and a diplomatic, kind of political statement that at the end of that nice, fluffy ceremony that could be championing something like that, there's still a lot of accountability that's going to have to be implemented. I did want to shift to something.
Right.
I have a ton of questions about what the heck is going on in Spain, Jim. I'm watching these stories. I'm seeing these videos of the mass migrant rush to the Spanish border. What's happening there and why?
Well, this is just so predictable. Spain actually has a history of getting in a leftist government. The leftist government says, oh, we'll just give everybody amnesty and that'll solve the problem. And then after they do the amnesty, they wind up with even more illegal migration than when they started. And that's exactly what's going on here. The president said, oh, migration's wonderful. We love it. We're going to legalize everybody. And predictably what happens, they're getting a flood of migrants who think, one, that, they're going to get, legalized too. But two is they're not going to hang out in Spain. There are no jobs in Spain. They're all going to other parts of Europe. And what Spain's giving them is like an open door and legalization. So, of course, and, people don't realize how easy it is. So this is a small peninsula in North Africa that's Spanish territory. All you got to do is wade out into the water, swim a little bit, and then swim back on shore, and you're in Spain. And, of course, 50,000 people are going to do that. And we'll see more unless they really crack down. So we did this in the United States. Forget about Biden. Under Reagan, we said, we're going to give an amnesty, wipe the boards clean, and then we're going to secure the border. And so we thought, okay, at the time, this is hilarious, right? This is a huge problem. At the time, we think we had like 1 million illegal people in the country. We had 3.5 million people show up for amnesty. So 3 times the number that we thought. And then, of course, all we got was more illegal migration after that. And if you go back and ask the Reagan people, ones that are still alive, they will tell you that amnesty was the biggest mistake the United States ever made. So, when you see people saying, when I first saw that picture of those people streaming in Spain, I would have said, if this was the Biden administration and that was our southern border, we would call that Tuesday.
Yep. It looks exactly
the same.
And
that's what's going to happen if the Dems come back. Exactly. And if the Dems come back, the day the Dems come back, we will see tens of thousands of people walking across that border into the United States too.
Yeah, I think about that 2028 primary where the Democrats are going to have to line up on the stage. So you have the whole spectrum of whatever the Democrat Party wants to present to the American people. And years ago, when we had that in 2020, the come one, come all, like literally not the invitation, but the command, come into this country. The door is going to be wide open. I would assume that could happen just as easy as President Trump stopped it. There was no congressional legislation that was put in place to stop what they started or continued.
Free Medicare for all, no security checks, take the housing away from American citizens, take the jobs away from American citizens. Even though we have years of documented evidence of the human trafficking, the suffering, the misery, the abuse, the corruption, the detrimental impact on the U.S. economy, the left will go right back to it again. It's not even theory. It's not like theory. When you're a little 5-year-old kid and your parent says, if you touch the stove, you're going to get burned, right? And the kid, well, I've never touched the stove before. How do I know my parents are right? And then they burn the crap out of their hands. We have evidence. You will screw this country up if you let tens of millions of people walk in this country. And the left strategy is, yes, we're going to do that again.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Is there, I think that one of the benefits of, at least geopolitically, of the World Cup was, of course, the people coming from Europe and the rest of the world to experience the United States of America and really have their mind changed as to what they've been told about the United States of America. But there are a lot of people who were discussing the immigrant situation in their European countries. And it seems as though throughout all of Europe, this is maybe the main issue that they're facing collectively as a continent. Is there a respite in Europe for common sense on these particular immigration issues?
Yeah, we have seen, I spend a lot of time in Europe with all kinds of people, not just conservatives. And we have seen the Great Awakening on a number of issues. Climate change is no. we don't need oil and gas. No, that was wrong. Yeah, we can have unlimited migration, and we don't have to worry about that. There's no downside. Yeah, nobody's buying any of that stuff anymore. So, absolutely. I mean, the European governments are maybe slow to change, but if you look at European people, they are moving massively in the other direction. There was just this thing, a Save Europe Act, right? So they brought hundreds of thousands of signatures in the Brussels Parliament saying, we don't want illegal migration, and we want you to send these people home. 10 years ago, that would have been unthinkable. You would get 5 people that would be willing to go to Brussels and say that. And now, literally, there's a whole mass movement of people. So, yeah, people are waking up to this. This mass migration, there is no upside to this. Mass migration, illegal migration, irregular migration, the downside far outweighs the benefits. You like legal immigrants and all that stuff, have a nice day, that's why you're a sovereign country, do whatever you want. But this thing is like, don't wipe away the rules and just have a free fire zone on migration. It's going to end badly. It's ended badly everywhere people have let it happen.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano. Is President Trump's just complete and totally clear message on the issue of illegal immigration? Is there a wake to that makes its way to the European shores where people go, well, look what Trump is doing, and they consider it for their European policy?
Absolutely. They said, look, this guy closed his border. And we've actually seen countries in Europe do that. They did it in Poland. They've done it in other countries. There are countries, Hungary, there are countries in Europe that have almost no illegal migration. And they can do that. So, yeah, I mean, Trump, I think, has had an enormous influence on all these core issues: family, energy, security, migration. That, yeah, you can do the right thing. And actually, you're probably better off if you do that.
Jim, I'm curious of your thoughts on this administration's efforts so far. And I would assume, when you get the super bad guys out, the president didn't say we want to deport, this small percentage of people who are here illegally. He said that if you're here illegally, you should go back to where you came from.
Right.
Do you feel as though there's some sort of nervous anxiety or anything with this administration to maybe pull back politically to soften the blow, or do you think they're full steam ahead?
I mean, I think there are people on the right and the left who are, squishy on this issue, but I don't think we're not going to see this administration or a Republican-controlled House or Senate ever backtrack on border and migration policies. That's just not going to happen.
Do you feel as though do you feel as though they need to follow through all the way if you're here illegally? Like, it is the real message that's going to resonate with those folks in other countries who are considering possibly coming here? I mean, of course you get the criminals out, but it seems like maybe you get those people out because they are criminals, not because they're illegal immigrants. Like, there's
it is. No, it's important it's important to deport people here illegally. That is part of the deterrent effect. And you can't just say we're just going to deport the criminals. It doesn't work that way. The people that broke the law, you have to deport them. Otherwise, people will not take your law seriously. And it's not just us. Other countries have seen this as well. And look, you know me, I do policy, not politics, but Republicans are not going to lose on this issue. They will never, ever gain a vote by compromising on being tough on border security and migration. The great tragedy could happen. Republicans might lose control, but it won't be because of this issue. It'll be for other reasons. And the tragedy is the left will come in, and even though they have no mandate on this issue, they will just 180 every one of those policies.
Yeah, full bore. Absolutely. Jim Carafano, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. Thanks for the time again this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. I used to say, people say, well, I'm not voting on this issue. You're always voting on these issues. And so you can say, I'm not voting on immigration. But if you vote these guys out, you will get right back. We will be right back where we were under Biden. All right.
Yeah, the onus is on the voter to understand that. And it's good that you bring that up 100%. Thanks for being with us, Jim. Take care. Bye-bye. retired Colonel James Carafano with us here on the Annie Frey Show. Let's break here for just a minute. We got Bob Kershaw coming in at the end of this hour, and Marc Reardon is going to join us in the 2 o'clock hour, a rare 2 p.m. guest, but it's Marc Reardon, so we're happy to have him on the Missouri primary. What are your questions for Marc Reardon? You can text him to us at 314-241-9797, and we'll get his thoughts so far on primary days leading up until 2:30. Of course, he'll be taking over at 3 o'clock, and I believe that he has special election coverage this evening. So you want to know the results of today's Missouri primary elections? 97.1 FM Talk, that's your home. Of course it is. We're so glad to have you. We'll be right back. Point Pest Control. It's Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. Sign up to be a Premier Service Plan subscriber. I am. They come out quarterly to our house, and they make sure we are bug-free. I love it. 636-798-0023. That's 636-798-0023. If you've got ants, spiders, crickets, mice, even if you have termites, these are the folks who you can call to solve the problem, to also be able to tell you how big the problem is or isn't. 636-798-0023. Residential and commercial services provided. There are a whole bunch of restaurants and shops and businesses around the St. Louis area that are very proud to have Point Pest Control as their pest services. Why not you as well? If you go online to pointpestcontrol.com, it's Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com, you can see all the different services that they provide. But the residential services, they come to the Frey home every quarter and spray or treat inside and outside, and they do a fantastic job. I speak highly of them because I use them. You can find them online at pointpestcontrol.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So the YouTube live chat poll for today, who would win in a game between the WNBA Las Vegas Aces and a boys high school state championship team of Outkick's Clay Travis's choosing. Now, why would I ask that question? Well, because that's an offer that is on the table from Clay Travis. He is willing to present $10 million to the Las Vegas Aces if they accept to play a state championship, high school state championship boys team of his choosing if they beat them. So you got to accept the game and then you got to win. And Clay Travis is going to say, here's $10 million. Now, he said if the boys team wins, he's going to give the boys $10 million as well. The question in front of America right now, but specifically lobbed into the WNBA's court, is surrounding the idea of boys playing in girls' sports. I don't know. I mean, Sophie Cunningham spoke on this as best as one can speak on an issue like this, because she presented it by saying, like, listen, I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. I do think that girls' sports should be for girls. And, you know, I think that's kind of a common sense kind of an issue. Here is, of course, in Texas, you've got Democratic Senate candidate James Tallarico trying to solve this problem.
And I think people are really tired of these culture war fights that are designed to tear us apart, designed to get us angry. I mean, there are difficult issues. Trying to figure out trans athletes in sports, that's an issue where we could actually come to a policy solution.
I guess maybe possibly here I could give James Tallarico a little bit of credit for saying maybe we could come to a policy agreement on this. But nobody's trying to have the conversation. And I don't know. He's kind of parsing this right down the middle. Is he saying that maybe trans athletes that would be trans women, boys that have transitioned into being women, is he saying that there is a policy that should be put into place here that would protect those biological girls? I mean, he didn't say that in that clip there. But the question right now, it's like the default is you got to let them play. You can't tell them they can't play. You got to let them play. If you needed a policy, it would be because the norm right now is that these transgender women get to play in the girls' leagues. We had a comment earlier. I don't know if I ended up starring it or not. I saw it, but we had a comment earlier from someone on the YouTube channel. Yeah, here it is. Tom said, oops, wrong one. Tom said, isn't this kind of offensive to women's sports? You're gosh darn right it is, Tom. The idea that Outkick's Clay Travis would put this on the table and, you know, it's not a threat, it's a challenge. Challenge the Las Vegas Aces and dangle in front of them $10 million to prove that professional women's sports, because they're pros, because the women who play there are pros, that any boy couldn't walk on the court and play with the Las Vegas Aces, compete with the Las Vegas Aces, beat the Las Vegas Aces. Is Clay Travis's challenge here offensive to women's sports? The answer to that question is no, but this is why. The idea that we're going to entertain biological men in women's sports, and we all know how that is going to go. We all understand that those biological men are going to have an enormous biological advantage on the biological women who are playing in that sports. That is enormously offensive to women's sports. So, Tom, isn't this kind of offensive to women's sports? It's not kind of. It's as offensive as it can possibly be, because there's nothing that these biological women can do about it. I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing volleyball, basketball, softball. I did track. I did all four of those through my senior year of high school. I loved sports. I loved playing on a team. I loved competition. I loved struggling through and finding success on the other side. I loved all of that. In the 90s, I kind of grew up in this environment of, there was like this kind of girl power kind of movement. I blame Jem and the Holograms. I don't know. I recall very much so T-shirts that said like play like a girl and all this stuff. And there was this kind of push in the 90s to get girls in sports. And there was this, I don't know, kind of cutesy feminist type of movement that was like, yeah, I play like a girl. And it was said in a way that was received culturally as a flex. Did I ever play on a girls' sports team that if we would have played our counterparts on the boys' team where we would have been able to compete? No. One of the most obnoxious experiences as a female athlete is when you play with your volleyball team and you go up against boys who have never played volleyball before. They're athletes, but they have never played volleyball before. So if they've never played it before and it's in PE or it's a pickup game or maybe it's like a powder puff game or something like that, the boys come in and they play volleyball like boys who play sports who don't know how to play volleyball. And they don't really take it seriously, but they jump out the top of the gym. And when they hit the ball, they hit it so stinking hard that, maybe it goes in, maybe it goes out, but then you see one of these guys, haul off and swing at a set, and you flinch because if that sucker comes at your face, you're in trouble. There's just a biological difference. And I'm going to tell you, as a young girl who was playing sports, I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder that boys were just better at sports than girls. And in the 90s, there was a push to try to equalize the mental space for girls to say, no, you belong here too. Yeah, I play like a girl. What about it? Now, if that was some sort of like feminist injection into culture to try to flex on women, it feels like I grew up in a time where women were working on flexing. And then we got into my teenage years, maybe my college years, and it wasn't enough for girls to feel like they belonged. We had to add in and remind men that they didn't belong. It wasn't enough for girls to just say, yeah, I'd like to have a seat at the table. I'd like to be looked at and heard instead of just looked at. That this was kind of the aftermath of I will remind you that women did not get to vote until after black men got to vote. So, yeah, there has been an inequality that has existed in the course of not that far back in history, in American history, that women have not been treated as equal. So that's a real part of the situation. So we went through decades of women saying, no, they belong in the conversation. They should be there. And we've gotten so far over our skis, so far ahead of ourselves, past the time when I grew up. And listen, I wasn't like super into feminist culture when I was a fifth grader, other than my Play Like a Girl t-shirts that I think my dad reluctantly let me wear. Thanks, Dad. I took pride in playing sports. I took pride in practicing, in preparing, in competing, and having a little success along the way. Nothing to write home about. No colleges lining up to give me a free education so that I could play sports. I didn't pursue it, and they didn't come chasing after me. That doesn't make my athletic career diminished. It doesn't make it not worthwhile. I learned how to compete. And I felt like I belonged on the court or the field or the track. Now we're in a place where there are girls like me who felt like they belonged and probably don't really know what it was like in the 90s where girls' sports were starting to be taken a little more seriously. I know my mom, she graduated high school in the 70s, and she, I think, would have been a fine athlete, but they didn't have opportunities. I remember hearing friends of mine talk about playing basketball at that time, and that you had to have a defender. I can't even remember how they explained it. It was so ridiculous to me, but you wouldn't play 5-on-5 basketball when girls were allowed to play basketball. I think you had like 3 on offense and 2 who had to stay back on defense. I don't know, would they get too tired or something? So it's stupid. Girls' sports have come a long way. But I can think of a lot of people listening right now who maybe would have played sports when they were in high school but didn't have the opportunity. That opportunity has grown and been presented, and now girls are competing at the highest levels that they can compete at. And now the little girl from the 1990s who was playing softball or who was, trying to learn how to rebound a basketball is watching a scenario where her daughter, who's now going to be in high school, might have to compete against a boy who wants to play with the girls, a boy who identifies as a female and is willing to put out everybody else's interests, everybody else's needs, prioritize themselves without the consideration of how it might hurt other girls in that sport. They're willing to do that. And nobody is brave enough to stand up and say, no, we're not doing this. I don't hate you. I'm not interested in telling you how to live your life, but I am interested in protecting these girls who want to have the opportunities that they should have, that have been legislated into Title IX to make sure that they have those opportunities. This is common sense. And we have a few people who are willing to stand up and be those first ones to speak, who are willing to stand up and say, this is not okay. We're not going to take away these opportunities from girls because a boy who wants to identify as a girl says, no, I'll take that opportunity from them. We got to stand up and we got to speak up about it. And so Clay Travis saying, all right, Las Vegas Aces, WNBA, play this state basketball championship team, high school team for $10 million. Will they take that offer? Is that offensive? Tom makes that question. Isn't this kind of offensive to women's sports? It's calling the question. That's what it's doing. It's calling the question, and someone needs to do it. And I have $10. I don't have $10 million. So I am very grateful as a former female athlete. I don't know if I'm a former. Would you quit being an athlete? It's a good question. As the mother of 3 girls who love sports already, someone needs to call the question, and we all deserve an answer. So I appreciate Clay Travis doing this immensely. Go vote in the YouTube poll. Who's going to win in that game, if it even happens? I doubt it will. The Las Vegas Aces, the professional women's basketball team, or a boys high school state championship team of Outkick's Clay Travis's choosing. Go vote. Leave a comment. We'll be right back.
No. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports. And she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Gentlemen, Marc Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
The YouTube live chat poll, who would win in a game between the WNBA's Las Vegas Aces and a team that won the boys' high school state championship somewhere in the country that would be of Outkick's Clay Travis's choosing. So it's between the Las Vegas Aces and one of the however many high school state champion boys basketball teams within the country. You have the chance to vote on the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel, and you can also text us your thoughts at 314-241-9797. The time is 1:37. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
2026 is a year to celebrate. America 250.
All right, this is like an hour earlier than usual, but Marc Reardon gets the time slot that Marc Reardon wants. And I'm very grateful that he's going to come in at 2:30. So we'll talk to Marc about the Missouri primary in an hour from right now before his show. And he's going to weigh in and tell us about his reflections so far on the primary day and talk to us about the special coverage he'll have here on 97.1 FM Talk for your election results this evening. So I'm excited about that. X's and Y's is a segment that we do where we talk about questions between men and women and try to get to the bottom of some of the answers that you might have questions for regarding why are women like this? Why do men do that? Okay, so this is a situation that I ran into just from walking out of the studio into the cafeteria, and I just overheard this. So I'm going to call out Dave Glover of KMOX fame because I heard this little conversation in the hall. I was just eavesdropping, but it was right there, open for everyone. He was meeting a guest. I think someone, I don't know who the guest was. It's a large, fit man. So Dave walked out of the KMOX area, and this is what he said to this guy. Like, this was his hello. He said, "I don't even know where I would hit you if I got in a fight with you." And I thought, women don't do that. Women don't have that thought. So do men assess every other man that they come encounter with? Ethan, I'll ask you first. Are you always sizing people up? Not because you want to fight them, but like, just what if? Could I? Should I? Do I need to befriend this person so I don't have to? His hello was, I don't even know where I would hit you if I got in a fight with you.
It's not based on the intention to fight.
Yeah.
But, it is the first observation that you make if someone is big.
Not that I make.
Okay, you got some size, or wow, you are extremely scrawny. Like, there is I think that it is natural for humans to immediately go to comparing.
Women, maybe women do that from a different way.
Yeah, I would think in their own way, men and women do a version of that. Now, indulging on that is not a good thing. But I think that it is natural to immediately look at whoever is in front of you and then immediately compare to yourself. And sometimes that's good as far as just like, keeping yourself safe when you're in public and different things like that too. Like I said, depending on the level in which you are doing it. But I do think that there is, that's pretty normal to a certain extent. I will say this though. Dave Glover is just a really funny person.
Yeah, I know. He's
and that is a Dave Glover response to meeting someone.
Well, that's what I thought about it. I've known Dave for a long time. I've worked with him, of course, in 97.1 since 2009. So I kind of understand the Dave Glover psyche a little bit, if that can be done. But I thought this is something that Dave says out loud, probably that most men just think.
Yes. I mean, like, guys aren't thinking, where would I hit you? That's Dave being funny. But they are noticing, you're a big dude. Like, I wouldn't want to fight you. That is being noticed.
That's the first thing you notice.
Not the first thing, but like if you got a giant dude that you just mentioned, that's all is buff out of his mind, like, yeah, that's going to be a pretty obvious thing you notice about someone.
So if you notice, if you meet someone, you're like, I could take him. Hi, how are you? I'm Ethan. Does that happen?
If it's someone that you feel like you can take, I feel like there is not always the strongest of desire to have to be as polite.
Does your assessment, that's interesting, does your assessment of what would go down in a fight with somebody have anything to do with how you feel about them as a person? Like, could you love them, you hate them, whatever? Like, it could be anywhere, but it does?
No, I mean, like, it depends on the quality of person you are, I guess. Like, if you're that shallow, then maybe. But no, that shouldn't be what goes through your mind. That shouldn't be. That's not being a good person. That's not being friendly. Brad,
I don't even know where I would hit you if I got in a fight with you.
Yeah, I have I have a threat assessment of every person that I work with.
So you're not assessing, like, Ethan, it sounds to me more like you're, like, just acknowledging the physical situation in front of you. You are assessing everybody as a threat all the time.
Yeah, because everybody, you don't know who could possibly be a threat.
Brad is the Dwight Schrute of this office.
Yes.
Like, weapons hidden everywhere.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not everywhere. No, I just do that. I look at everybody, and kind of like what Ethan kind of touched on this. Like, when guys interact, there's always the chance that if you say the wrong thing, it could result in a physical confrontation.
I mean, there's always the possibility.
Yes, at the root of it, the threat of a physical confrontation is there, and you have to be aware of that. And so it does affect the way that you talk to people and stuff like that. I think it makes guys more polite to other guys, unless the guy just thinks, this guy's no threat to me at all. I can take him apart. I can pick him apart like cotton candy. Then he's going to have a lot less respect whenever he talks to that person. He's not going to worry about saying something. And we all have met people like that. But yeah, absolutely. I assess the physical prowess of every guy that I've ever met. Every time.
Ever.
Ever.
How about you, Annie? What goes through your mind when you're walking up to a lady that's absolutely jacked out of her mind? Clearly on steroids.
I'm like, I could take her. She might be strong, but I'm quick. I'm super quick. I'm not fast, but I'm quick. And there's a difference.
What is the difference?
Between being fast and quick?
Yeah, for you, like...
I think long-term quickness is more advantageous.
You think you're going to, you can kind of juke her out if you need to or something?
I don't know that I've ever met someone and immediately assessed the threat level in front of me. Do you have, like, a color code, Brad, like the old days of terror?
No, it's not a color code. It's just like, okay...
It's more like on a scale, DEFCON 1,
like if I met a guy
3,
like...
4,
BradCon.
The way that you're describing... the way Dave approached this guy, it's like, I don't even know where I'd hit you.
I mean,
that is an external voice of the thought that happens in this, like, where would I hit
I
this
know,
guy?
but I don't know that
far,
Dave.
though.
I don't know that Dave was actually assessing threat levels. I
Like-
think he was just saying, "Dave Glover, hello."
Brad, have you ever had that thought of where would I hit you if you walked up to me and you were like in my face?
If you tried to
had
fight
that
me,
thought
yeah, oh yeah.
Have you tried to fight Brad?
I guess I've never gone that far as
Can we
to like
pay-per-view
I am
this?
prepared for like my first step if you were to swing on me or were to try and
Is
confront
there
me.
something between you not feeling threatened by people, Ethan, and Brad, you feeling threatened by people? Is
Like-
that a disposition?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what you're asking.
I'm just saying, like if Ethan has a confidence about him that he doesn't feel threatened. How tall are you, Ethan?
6'1". 6'1".
Is that man math?
I'm like 6.5.
Well,
Easier to say if you're gonna round up or round down, you're gonna round
choked
up.
on the half when it came out of your mouth there.
I'd rather say 6'1" than say 6 foot. So I mean, like.
I would think of you as tall. I'm just thinking that maybe you're taller than the majority of people. The average Joe that's out there, you're taller, so maybe you just don't feel threatened by people. Or is that because of your physical stature or your mental position?
As much as anything, it might be the generation I grew up in as much as it is anything else.
How?
I feel like my generation does not resolve issues by fighting nearly as much as previous generations. If you were to look at, like, percentage of, like,
You guys are
fights,
way more in tune with your feelings.
Well, I'm not saying that that's what it is necessarily. I'm just saying that, like, and who knows, maybe it has to do with, like, like
I think you're onto something.
I don't think that maybe the phones and like not being able to socialize with people has something to do with it as well. Like people don't know how to talk to each other. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. But I bet if you were to look generation by generation, all the way through baby boomers, right? I bet that the percentage would get
They're
less
fighting
and
people
less
over
for number
personal
of people that are
self-checkout.
fighting. So yeah, maybe.
Can we talk more about this in the 2 o'clock hour?
We can do whatever you want, Annie.
I don't think that's true. I don't know that that's
your
always
name
true.
is on the show.
From noon to 3?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. Bob Kershaw will join us here in just a minute. I'm going to be with Bob Kershaw next Tuesday. I hope you'll come join us. Fill that room with Annie Frey Show listeners. Bob Kershaw next. HomeshieldFoundationRepair.com. I would encourage you to give Matt Hayes the opportunity to earn your business for your project. Now, there are a lot of different things that Home Shield Foundation Repair can do for you. So if you call 314-271-9900 because you have a foundation concern, I'm not a foundation expert. I would be like, that looks bad. We need to get an expert in here to see how bad and what kind of fix it's going to require. That guy's Matt Hayes. And I really want to stress that he's a local guy. And this is a locally owned business, not some out-of-towner who's come in and, the whole rigmarole. Home Shield Foundation Repair is Matt Hayes' company, family-owned and operated right here with an incredible crew, staff that is very loyal to the Home Shield Foundation brand because they know what they're doing and they do fantastic work. So if you have a crack in your wall that looks like maybe your foundation is shifted, if you've got concrete on your patio that has sunk in and needs to be leveled out again, or if the basement's got water in it, from top to bottom, Home Shield Foundation Repair wants to solve your problem. 314-271-9900, online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
The Missouri primary is tonight, and we have you covered.
Join me, Marc Reardon, along with our expert panel as we break down the biggest races, critical amendments, and results in real time.
Tonight, comprehensive election coverage on 97.1 FM Talk.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
License number GL2500615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Welcome back. We are so grateful that you are here with us today on Missouri Primary Day. Time for you to go have your voice be heard if you're in the state of Missouri. And we've got Marc Reardon coming up in about 40 minutes from right now to give us his update, his thoughts on Missouri Primary Day, plus his special coverage this evening on the results. Bob Kershaw is in studio with me now of the Retirement Advisory Group. Bob, you and I are going to be together next Tuesday at the Doubletree in Chesterfield.
Looking forward to it.
I am too. 6:30 the event starts. It's free. There are snacks. I'll be there. Mark Cox and Marc Reardon will be there to talk to you about transitioning into your retirement. Doesn't take a whole bunch of your evening. It's like 45 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just right about 45 minutes. We make sure everybody's out by 7:30.
That's perfect. So you get your information, and your free cookies and the brownies are really good. And Mark and I would love the opportunity to chum with you for their 6 to 6:30 before the event starts. I'm looking at the stock market right now. I looked at my kid's Trump account. It's up. It's doing good. So I sent him a screenshot. He sent me back a gif of the Kool-Aid man coming through the wall saying, oh, yeah. So he made $2 or something. The stock market is going through the roof today, but if Trump says that we're going to bomb the crap out of Iran, it's going to plummet. I'm 42, so I got a good couple decades at minimum left before I'm thinking about retiring. But if I were in my late 50s and my early 60s, the ups and the downs would stress me out, I think, a lot more.
That's exactly it. When you're young, when you're in your 40s and even our early 50s, you have time to ride that Wall Street roller coaster is what I call it, because you're up, down, up, down. Mm-hmm. It's stressful. You're constantly watching it. But if something did happen and we had a major crash, you're going to make that up before you retire. What we're going to be educating people on Tuesday is the different strategies out there that a lot of people don't even know about, like linking to the market. When you're near retirement or in retirement, you're making a huge change within your life. So you need to make those same kind of changes with your finances to go with it. And that's what we stress is safety. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize you can still get market ups. That's what we all want. You can still get the growth, but you don't have to risk your principal, what you spent your whole life saving. You don't have to risk that. There's other ways.
I feel like retirement, in my mind, is like you spend all of your working years building this really incredible parachute, but then you still have to walk up to the ledge and jump and hope that sucker works.
That's a great way to put it, Annie. That's exactly it.
It's like jumping off a cliff.
And one of the things that we're going to talk about Tuesday too is one of the free services that we always offer. Is we put together that free personalized structured income plan for everybody that comes and sees us. And what that does...
So if they come to see you on Tuesday night, and come to see me, I'd love to see you. If they come, they get that.
Well, yes. Once they come in the office, we'll sit down with them, figure out what their needs are, what kind of income, look through their
You're giving up a lot of information before
we do.
Yeah,
because we're here to educate. We're not here to sell. We like to educate. If it works for you, great. If not, that's okay. But at least you leave knowing the other strategies out there that are there to help you. And we're going to answer those two major questions that everybody wants to know. When I retire, how much money am I going to have, and how long is it going to last me? And that's what we focus on.
It is such a helpful, free event again. If you want to sign up and come see us, you can go to retirementkey.com, and the details are there. But you can just call 314-993-9494, and you tell them that Annie sent you, because I like to have that room full of Annie Frey Show listeners. 314-993-9494. One question, we only got about a minute left here, Bob, but one question I love to ask people when they're there is like, so... are you ready to retire? Are you retired? And there's such a wide range of people. Some people love what they're doing. They're making great money, and they want to be able to just unplug when they're ready to unplug.
That's exactly it.
Everything in line. And other people are there, and they are terrified because they really want to retire for maybe health reasons, grandbabies around, they want to travel, and they're not sure if they can do it, and they don't want to hear no.
And that's the favorite part about what we do, what we love, is when you're sitting across the table from somebody and you go through their income plan and they look at each other and say, wow, I can retire. That's fun. That's exciting.
That gives me goosebumps just thinking about that relief.
You have a lot of years.
I know. I'm not thinking that thought yet. I'm thinking about the day-to-day. How much is gas today? That's what I need to know. Bob Kershaw, thanks for being with us. And also, truly, thank you for all the support that you've provided 97.1 over the years with the Retirement Advisory Group. That room, it's full of 97.1 listeners. So it's kind of like a family gathering.
Absolutely. We always say, everyone that comes, they're all listeners, and we're all one big family. let's face it, we all listen to 97.1. We all think alike. It's great. That's what makes it fun too.
Well, I'll be there at the DoubleTree in Chesterfield next Tuesday. Go reserve your spot. Come see me. Come see Marc and Marc, and learn everything you can from Bob for free while he's giving it away. 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com. Thanks. Good to talk to you, Bob. Well, we're just talking to Bob Kershaw here in studio, and I want to remind you how to sign up for this seminar that's coming up Tuesday. When I hear seminar, I think like, okay, that's a whole day and notepads and nice pens and all that type of stuff. There are notepads and pens at this, but it's like 45 minutes of your time. Free information that comes with snacks, but it's your retirement. You are in your late 50s, you're in your 60s, maybe you're in your 70s, and you haven't gotten there yet, but you really want to know what's the picture of retirement. I've worked really hard for this. What kind of options do I have? Can I retire in the next few years? Can I retire yesterday? Those are the types of answers you can get with the Retirement Advisory Group. And I'd love to come see you on, August 11th, it's next Tuesday, at the DoubleTree in Chesterfield. Just sign up, bring a friend, bring friends, and come say hello. If you want to reach out to them at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. An hour before the close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up more than 1,000 points. NASDAQ is more than 700 points higher. The S&P 500 also in record territory, up about 145 points. The market's buoyed by word earlier in the day from Treasury Secretary Bessent that an agreement to open the Strait of Hormuz is close. Talks between Iran and Oman about the strait have been productive, according to Iran's foreign ministry. President Trump has warned Tehran these talks are their last chance to avoid what he called decapitation. Iran, though, is suspected of sponsoring cyber attacks on some U.S. water supplies.
Federal agencies have warned that Iranian-affiliated cyber actors are targeting critical infrastructure, including water and wastewater facilities. Minnesota has reported attacks on roughly 30 water systems, while Michigan has confirmed 9 incidents.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, a setback for the Trump administration's attempts to roll back the so-called Green New Deal.
A
divided U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for D.C. says the Trump administration improperly ended billions of dollars in clean energy products, siding with Climate United Fund and other nonprofits. The program dates back to the Biden administration as part of its efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. President Trump and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin accused the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund of mismanagement and potential fraud, freezing billions of dollars before terminating their grants.
The ruling will be appealed to the Supreme Court. The Justice Department charging 19 people in the Philadelphia area with defrauding Medicaid out of more than $4 million.
Now, we're facing a personal care services crisis around the country. The surge in enrollment of individuals in these programs is stunning. So shocking, we have to double-check our numbers. We don't think it's possible that it's happening, but it is.
It's Dr. Mehmet Oz of the Center for Medicaid and Medicare. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We keep the full sunshine going on this Tuesday afternoon, and let's warm it up to about 89 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 69 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny. Let's call it warm. 91 degrees, that's the hottest day of the week is Wednesday afternoon. Showers late Wednesday night and Thursday, scattered showers and some thunderstorms, 85 on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Marc.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not a man.
Welcome back. We're happy to be with you this Tuesday, which is Missouri primary day. You have to vote today. If you haven't voted yet, you got to get to the polls and you got to vote. How are you going to vote? Well, as an Illinois resident, I have deferred to the Marc and Marcs of the 97.1 lineup. And Marc Reardon will be with us in about 25 minutes, and he'll be answering your questions as well as some of mine. I want him to recap. Usually I don't have to ask Marc Reardon too many questions. He usually has something to say, and he definitely knows how to fill the time. What? So at 2:30, Marc Reardon will be in here, and he'll also prep us for his show as well as the election results show tonight, which starts at 7. Is that correct?
7 to approximately 10. It's going to kind of vary on when the results come in. But
what about the 3 a.m. ballot dump?
They're going to try to
come on, Reardon.
Go on as long as possible. But I think they said that they're expecting the results to be around 9:30.
Yeah,
so.
that seems about right.
Missouri does a pretty good job with that, don't they?
Well, I will tell you this. As an Illinois resident, when I'm trying to find primary results, I'm digging like crazy to try to find it. So it's going to be very nice to have 97.1 just be the destination. When something gets called and you're listening to 97.1, you're going to know what the results of today's election are. But you got to participate. So get out there and vote right now. That's right. Do it for the people in Illinois who don't have freedom. We were doing the X's and Y's before, and I asked the gentlemen in the room, Ethan and Brad, this question, and Dave Glover's on the air right now, but I'm going to have him on the show. I'm going to ask him this question sometime. I got to work it into a day when the Cardinals are playing so he doesn't have to do a show. But I was just walking from our studio to the cafeteria, and he had walked out, Dave Glover had walked out of the Camo X area to greet a guest, and he said, man, I don't even know where I would hit you if I got into a fight with you. And I just thought it was a very jovial, like the man who was a large, fit man, I don't know who he was, felt very welcomed by that greeting. And I felt like I was observing animals in the wild. As a woman, I thought to myself, have I ever met a woman and thought, could I physically take her? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. I had Daniel come in the studio with us. Daniel was helping me out last week when I was running the board. And I told him when I came in, Daniel, I told you could come stand next to me and tell me how to host better if you wanted to over my shoulder. I appreciated the help last week. You were listening to the show. We were discussing this earlier. Brad said that he assesses, how would you say it, Brad? You assess
a threat assessment of every man that I come
you
across.
meet. A threat assessment of every man that he meets. Ethan, would you say you're doing a threat assessment?
I don't know if I would go to the level that Brad is. I would say that there is an assessment of physicality, but I don't know if I would view every single person as a threat.
So maybe before I go to Daniel, Brad, could you take Daniel?
Sure.
Well, now I kind of want to test this theory.
All right.
Oh.
Fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
Daniel, did you do a threat assessment on Brad when you met him? Do you do threat assessments on other men that you meet?
I don't generally do it like for every single person, but if, say, I meet somebody that is significantly larger and definitely in way better shape than I am, then I'll be like, oh, if things go south with this guy, I might be in trouble.
You got to think of some alternative strategies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickness. I'm telling you guys,
Like
it's all
running
about
away.
quickness. Do you flee?
Fleeing.
Do you flee?
Do I?
Would you?
I don't think so. If
Would
you
you
would have
just
asked
go
me
down
this
swinging?
10 years ago, I probably would have, but I don't think I would now.
You'd
I'm
give it a
way more
shot.
confident now than I used to be in myself.
Say it's not fleeing; it's attacking in the other direction.
I don't even know how to convey over the radio the look that Ethan just gave me. I am now a little nervous.
Did I make a weird face?
It was
What
more
did I
about.
do?
It was in the eyebrows, Ethan.
It was.
It was almost like you were telling me that, like I maybe had threatened you.
Yeah, it may be your show for now, but What are you gonna say now?
Have you men ever been in a fight? Actual physical fight? Any of you?
Oh yeah.
In like a hockey sense, yes, because I grew up playing hockey, but like not like an actual drop the gloves, like ground and pound. No.
Daniel played hockey, if you couldn't tell.
Again, these are all very, very boy questions and comments. Fight, Ethan?
No, not outside of like I smack you because you did something that
You smacked?
really
Maybe that's why you didn't have confidence. You were smacking.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like middle school. Like I don't want to
Like a slap?
I don't want to like a smack on the face. Yeah, like a slap. I don't
slap
want to
somebody?
Yeah, a time or two. I got picked on a lot, and physical altercation was always what my father encouraged. He said, "You do it once, and they'll never pick on you
I'm
again."
with the
But
freaking
I
AD
was
on
always,
this one.
I was always the one that was like, "I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to like."
And your
cause
dad's
a
like,
stirring.
kick their butt,
Yeah.
son.
So I never went that far, but I did have a couple of times where I smacked someone in the face. It's a little less like loud. It's a little less.
What happened next?
Nothing. Just like they would try to do it back, and then like it would just.
But you
like-
were quick.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be quick, agile.
Brad, who'd you fight with?
One of my brother's friends. He was a wrestler, so I broke my hand.
Oh.
Did you lose that fight?
No.
Did
No.
he lose that fight? Or
Sounds
does
like you
everybody-
both- sounds like you both lost
I
that
would say
fight.
it was a draw. I mean, like, it was him trying to, get me down on the ground and me trying to maintain distance and attack. And I broke
Were you
my hand.
trying to win the fight, or were you trying to de-escalate the fight?
Oh, no, I was trying to win at that point. If I'm punching, I'm trying to win. At that point, the
How old were you?
de-escalation was over. 16 or 17, something like that.
What?
This is like 32. It's like-
Yeah.
This was last week. What are you talking about?
And my brother and I are close to the same age, and as we got older, we've had some pretty hardcore fights.
Is there an instance where any of you would ever, 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 in any circumstance, hit a woman?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Ethan?
If a woman was attacking me, I would never like unprompted hit a woman. But if it was a,
Don't like what she's saying.
Yeah,
Maybe that was what that look was
I
for.
want your
before.
show, Annie.
It's gonna go right over here.
if if I was attacked by a woman and it was, defending myself situation,
Defending yourself?
yeah, then absolutely. I would punch a woman so hard. That's getting clipped.
Yeah.
My career
Take
is
it out of
over.
context. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you were going to run for office one day.
I would punch him.
Is there a circumstance, Brad, where you'd hit a woman?
Yeah, I would say if she was like with a weapon, trying to kill me or kill somebody that I knew or an innocent bystander, 100%. Like I saw this video of this lady that just walked up and stabbed a kid walking down the street.
It's crazy.
Oh.
And I was like the dad grabbed the kid and pulled the kid away. And I was like, if I'm the dad, I'm killing her. Like I'm punching her.
Daniel's nodding in affirmation.
But
with eyebrows raised high.
Intently.
It's that extent where it's like, yeah, it's a life or death situation. Then like honor and that sort of thing goes out the window.
What if a woman comes up and punches you in the face?
No.
No, I'm not hitting back.
What are you doing?
I'll try to walk away.
Like
I guess.
one punch
Take
or
it.
like
Sucker punch.
multiple punches?
I don't know.
If it's one punch, I'm 50-50. Depends how I feel in the moment. But if she's continuing...
I'm pretty sure we know how you feel in the moment,
she's
Ethan.
continuing,
Yeah, I know how you feel in this
but
moment.
if she's continuing to throw haymakers, then like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm throwing her to the ground. I'm giving her a sucker, and that'll be the end of it. What is so crazy about this?
Your confidence and comfortability.
No problem.
Okay, in a world where society wants to see less and less of gender, you want equality. Like that's about as equal as it gets. You punch me in the face, out of defense of myself, I'm going to punch you back.
I don't know if you've ever had more fans in the YouTube chat than you do right now, Ethan.
And that's saying something because the YouTube chat loves me. I swear it's this
Brad,
chair.
you said
It's
you had
the
an
chair.
X's and Y's question?
Yeah, so this is like a huge right turn, but this is more. Do women feel like a societal pressure to dress a certain way? And what got me thinking about this is watching the way women dress in media. Like whenever there's reporters, it's usually a dress of some sort and that sort of thing. I don't really see. Like, it's just kind of like whatever. Is there a societal pressure to dress a certain way or to dress up for certain things? Like, do you feel like society's telling you have to look beautiful in all situations?
I think women look beautiful in all situations. I don't think women... Well, you disagree? Go ahead, Ethan. You're doing a bang-up job anyway.
We're about to find out.
Let's put Brad's question on the shelf.
I think all
Ethan,
people are
when do
all
women look
beautiful.
their worst?
I think all people are all beautiful all the time.
Name some ugly people, Ethan.
Why are we even talking about this? What's the point of even
Because
doing this?
I feel like right now you're going to answer the question, and at least for the YouTube reels afterwards, it's going to be good for me. Go for it. No, I don't think women dress for society. I think women dress for themselves, and you wear what you feel good in. I don't think that there are women out there who are like stressing about girls will, but like women don't, I don't think.
Was there a point that you feel like that stopped? Was there any point like in your lifetime that you feel like that was a thing?
I would say that I would dress with other people in mind when I was single, and that's like you might wear something that's a little less comfortable to look the way you feel you look your best. But I mean, I think you're not married yet, correct, Daniel?
No, not yet.
Keyword yet.
How long have you been in your current relationship?
7 years.
That's why he said yet.
Man, the facial expressions today on the show.
That's why I said yes.
Yes,
exactly.
And you're how old?
23.
Oh, I got married at 23. First baby at 25. Ethan.
I would absolutely.
I turned
love-
26 in
Hurry
a month.
up! Get on that. Well, anyway, I feel like you've been around. You have all had relationships for long enough that you probably noticed how more frequently your significant other would dress comfortably around you in like dressing down clothes. Now, I've heard, I can't speak to it. Maybe that's my next question to you guys. Do you find leisure clothes attractive on the woman that you love? Ethan? You're like
define leisure clothes.
Truth serum. Sweats, sweatshirts, t-shirts.
do leggings count?
Sure.
As leisure.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Yeah. This is the greatest Ethan segment ever. It's just saying all the things with full-fledged honesty. Are you drunk?
I'm telling you, it's the chair. Hey, it's my last day before vacation,
I know.
too. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Do you find, I mean, like a young woman might feel like they always have to dress up and put on something for him potentially. But when she starts to feel more secure, she dresses more for her comfort. Comfort doesn't mean dressing like a slob. It could just be more comfortable. Daniel, do you find that still attractive on the woman that you love?
Yeah, because it shows the level of comfortability that she has with me too. Because she feels like she doesn't have to dress up. Let me rephrase that. She feels like she doesn't have to dress up super nice just to be around me. She feels like she can be comfortable.
She can be herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a pleasant answer.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah,
So
just
pleasant.
switch chairs and try it on for size.
Maybe it's because I'm sitting in Sue's chair.
That's true. It's so sweet and so nice and well thought out.
It's usually my chair.
Ethan,
That's usually my chair. So maybe it's something to do with him being in my chair.
do you men appreciate women if they get their, full, like a woman can accentuate the things about
Sure.
her that are beautiful with makeup,
Mm-hmm.
with accessories or whatever. I think men kind of think that makeup is a cover for something, while women will put it on and know that this is how I feel like I look my best. And I think that you can say you look your best with like the full thing done however you feel like it should be done. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you're ugly without it.
Sure.
So it's like, it's just like two, it's like I love Italian food and I love Mexican food. They're just two different things, but they're both great. Do you feel a certain type of way about when they do the full face and get all, I mean, you got to like that too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really have a strong opinion as to like how I view my wife, whether she is wearing makeup or not wearing makeup. First off, my wife just doesn't wear that much makeup, so there's really not that big of a difference for me. But like, I think that you appreciate when, you're doing something, whether it be going on a date or, an event or something. And in the same way in which my wife appreciates when I have a nice outfit and dress nice and do my hair and all that, like she appreciates that in the same way I enjoy when she looks all dolled up. It doesn't mean that it's any better than it normally would be. It's not like I'm like, oh, you're prettier now than you were an hour ago. It's just I think there's a level of appreciation for being able to put effort into like how you look.
You're going
knowing
to
you're doing that like with the person that
you're
you
going
love or married to.
You're going to Boston, so you're going to go to a wedding. So like, are you guys and either of you in the wedding?
My wife is.
She's in the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of that stuff is gonna you're gonna see her and she's obviously gonna just look stunning to you.
Oh, she's just gonna look so smoking hot.
Okay, yes. This is X's and Y's. I said she's gonna. What did I say? Fantastic. That doesn't. It's not like that is the standard in a man's mind. Like this is what you're capable
because
of.
that's ridiculous. That's like okay, let's like then the expectation is a guy has to like be in a suit and like be shaved up.
You feel like if you expect that from her that you have to give a little bit of that yourself.
If that's what, yeah, I think so. I think that's fair, is it not? No? Maybe?
Yeah, it's fair.
Maybe not?
I love this song, 1996 or something like that.
Did that on purpose.
Do you know that she was 14, I think, when she recorded this? Maybe
I don't
16?
know who she is.
Leanne Rimes. It's great. She's incredible. Ethan Sports and Local next?
Sure.
And then Marc Reardon. You're the lead into Marc Reardon. How do you feel about that? Don't tell me. Don't beat it. Don't. You've said enough. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, easy to reach at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. The Bagel Loan is for you. Your brand new mortgage or even a mortgage refinance. When you connect with 314-324-4440, Stewart's American Mortgage, you'll find out how you can get a brand new mortgage with no closing costs. Cash out refinance with no closing costs. All with the Bagel Loan, only at Stewart's American Mortgage. And for right now, if you're getting a new 30-year loan on a new home purchase, Stewie is going to give you an incredible opportunity to lower your interest rate for the first year 1% plus the bagel loan. So connect with Stewie. You can call him, you can text him. Either way, he's ready to talk to you about how he can make your mortgage situation the best it can possibly be. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan to find out more information. NMLS number 226715.
Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Suffering from knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, or tennis elbow caused by arthritis, inflammation, or an injury? STL Joint Relief, now open in St. Peter's, offers a non-surgical, non-narcotic solution that can provide lasting relief. Using advanced ultrasound guidance, we pinpoint the exact source of your pain, allowing for precise treatment that targets the problem, not just the symptoms. Best of all, STL Joint Relief accepts all insurance. Learn more and schedule your appointment at stljointrelief.com.
It's Marc Cox. Celebrate the month of August with Zero Res. Buy 2 rooms of carpet clean, get 2 rooms free, plus take 20% off air ducts and products. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. This segment of The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by All Financial.
Check it out. Sports and local.
But mostly sports with Ethan Hannaford.
Not untrue.
He's caught on.
Hi, Ethan.
Finally.
Again.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Anything more you want to say about punching women? Or just sports?
I endorse when punched first.
Equality, right?
Equality. That is right.
Hot stove day.
Oh, man. Yesterday was a freaking toasty day on the stove.
A toasty day.
Yes, it was. Well, sorry, having microphone issues over here. Just trying to be able to
Happens
talk on
to everyone,
air.
Ethan.
Happens to the best of us. Performance issues. I get
It's
it.
Ryan's mic, so he's always dealing with it.
Yeah. That's why he's out, right?
Couldn't handle it. For sure. Anyway.
Yeah, yesterday was the trade deadline for Major League Baseball, and the Cardinals had a very active day. When we were discussing this yesterday, we were fresh off the trade of Dustin May and JoJo Romero getting sent to the Milwaukee Brewers, but we hadn't really heard anything outside of that. Those two players were getting sent to the Brew Crew. No return, no other trades. That was, around this time yesterday, so 2:15. There were still a couple hours remaining until the deadline, and the Cardinals ended up having a pretty busy final couple of hours. The details, of course, did emerge on all of those trades. So I'm just going to briefly walk through the couple of trades that the Cardinals made, how people are saying they did, and then where you can maybe get a little bit more information on it too. So the trade that we talked about a little bit yesterday, Dustin May and JoJo Romero getting sent to the Cardinals' interdivision rivals, the Milwaukee Brewers. In exchange, St. Louis received 2 prospects, outfielders Alexander Frias and Josiah Ragsdale. Both of these guys are pieces that are still in the early levels of the minors. Frias is in single A, Ragsdale is in double A. but both of them have climbed the list, the prospect lists of a lot of different outlets very rapidly over the past, I would say, 6 to 12 months. Frias enters into the Cardinals' farm system rankings. According to MLB Pipeline, he already jumps up to number 4. So the Cardinals got a huge ad with Frias. He's only 18 years old, so a lot of potential talent in his bat. Ragsdale, his biggest issue over these last couple of years has been his inability to hit the ball for power. He's hit 19 home runs this year, so he has clearly fixed that issue. So the Cardinals, widely around baseball, have been considered big winners of this trade with the Milwaukee Brewers for what they were able to get for two guys that are going to be free agents in the offseason. It's not like these two players are, rentals is what they're called. It's not like these two guys are going to be Brewers for the next 5 years. This is a likelihood where they're both gone in the offseason. So that was the first trade that the Cardinals made. By far the best trade that they made yesterday, and one of the better trades of the day as far as sellers go. The other trade, the Cardinals traded away fan favorite outfielder Lars Nootbaar to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fans maybe were a little bit bittersweet about this one. That was my final Newt. Because he obviously is so beloved here in St. Louis, an awesome clubhouse presence. A little bit of a disappointment when you look back on these 5 years of Nootbaar's career in St. Louis. Those first couple of years, I think people looked at a lot of those numbers and thought, man, this could be a really legitimate piece of this organization for a long time. And Nootbaar just constantly dealt with injuries, was never able to, I think, put it together to the potential that he could have maybe while wearing the birds on the bat. Either way, a player that certainly will be missed here in St. Louis for the antics and just how great he was with the fans. So he's going to be going to Arizona and playing with one of his closest friends in Nolan Arenado, who was just traded to Arizona this past offseason. What did the Cardinals get back in return? They went pitching in this trade. They got right-handed pitcher Daniel Egan, who was the 5th-ranked prospect in the Diamondback system. Just to give you an idea of how much better this Cardinal system has gotten, he's now 17th in the Cardinals system. The Cardinals have really amped up this system. They also got Sandro Santana. He is a left-handed relief pitcher in Double-A currently. Both of these pitchers are in Double-A.
Is anybody who we've gotten from the hot stove situation yesterday, is anybody playing right now?
Of those two trades, no. Everyone is in the minors. This allows for the Cardinals to continue
future forward
to build up this system that in pretty much a year has gone from bottom 10 in baseball to top 3 in baseball. I mean, this revamp has been absolutely phenomenal. Chaim Bloom has put the Cardinals in such a good spot to be able to eventually start buying and adding at these deadlines, hopefully within the next year or two. The Cardinals did add one piece to the Major League roster yesterday. They traded for left-handed relief pitcher Caleb Ferguson from the Cincinnati Reds. All they had to give in exchange was $250,000 of international bonus space. Basically, players that don't get drafted that play internationally, each team gets an amount of money to be able to spend on that every year, and the Cardinals gave $250K to the Reds for that. This will help them with the losing of Jojo Romero. Obviously, the bullpen has been horrific the past few weeks, so they needed this help. So,
which is so sad because the earlier part of the season, it was like you had to watch the whole game to see how it ended.
Yeah,
if we were out by a lot, we could come back in and compete.
Certainly. And so this will be a nice helping piece. Pretty ironic. Caleb Ferguson making $4.5 million this year. With the trade of Dustin May, Caleb Ferguson is making the most money on the Cardinals roster this year at $4.5 million. That is absolutely insane. So the Cardinals, not a lot of money on the books right now, and not a lot for next year either. So
they're saving up for a big spend.
Yep, they're going to have control over these next year, or over the next year or two, to be able to really do what they want on the market when they are ready to make that decision that they're buying. So
you referred to Caleb Ferguson as a piece. I was wondering who you think is a piece on the Annie Frey show. A piece of.
A piece. How do you want me to answer this, Annie? Like, genuinely, what do you want me to do?
You're just
speaking
very freely today. Are you wanting me
to make a frisky comment about Brad? Is that what you are wanting to happen?
I don't know.
Is that what's going on?
A piece of, you can fill in the blank in a lot of different ways.
Brad, I think you're a great piece. I would
There you
spend
go.
$250,000 to acquire
Somebody
you.
else's money.
Yeah, my
That's
threat
Steve's
assessment
money.
of
That's right.
Ethan is changing.
So the move, basically, to put a bow on this, these moves, as far as right now, they don't make the Cardinals better today at the major league level. But what they do is they continue to onto the philosophy that Chaim Bloom set in the offseason is that season.
Rebuild.
We are going to sacrifice the short-term success in order to build for the long term. And in that sense, the Cardinals had a very good day yesterday. And they had a great game last night, too. I don't know if you caught any of the highlights. They played the Yankees.
Burley
They're
did.
playing in the Bronx right now. They were winning this game at 1.6-0. Bullpen gave up a 6-run lead, fell behind 7-6, and then they were able to retake the lead. They won 13-7. Alec Burleson hit 3 home runs. There were 10 home runs, I believe, hit in yesterday's game combined between the two. I would love if Busch Stadium would maybe move in those walls in right field a little bit like they do at Yankee Stadium. Right field at Yankee Stadium is called the short porch. It is the shortest distance to hit a home run down the right field line in baseball. So Alec Burleson took advantage of that yesterday.
I want
can't we,
Busch
add that to Busch
Stadium to
Stadium?
put a hill in the outfield like Houston.
To Towels Hill.
Or like not even a hill. Let's do something different. How about a hole? That would be
A
even
hole?
more. That'd be more exciting.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
right.
You never know what's going to happen.
Sure would make things interesting out there in right field for our
At
new
least
star,
until the
Jordan
rebuild
Walker.
is done, just to add a little spice to the situation.
One time for the hole.
Yeah, one that can open while we're on offense and close when we're on defense.
Now
See,
we're getting
now
somewhere.
we're
now
that's
we're
how-
really getting somewhere. Good stuff.
I mean, if you can
Annie.
have a hill, why can't you have a hole? Come on now.
Way to contribute. Way to contribute. To
I've
the
got
sports
ideas, Ethan.
conversation.
I've told you, I'm an idea person.
That you are.
Marc Reardon's coming in next to talk about today as the Missouri primary. Have you voted yet? You can text us at 314-241-9797. Ethan, can you stay and manage the text line?
I will try my best.
It's for Marc Reardon, so
Anything for Marc Reardon.
anything for
Annie
Marc,
Frey.
who's going to be in here. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Todd Sivia of Sivia Law, online at sivialaw.com, 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. If you have the need to have your current estate plan, maybe it's your trust, it's your will, powers of attorney, whatever it might be, if you have to have it looked over, please give Todd Sivia a phone call and talk to him about how he can help. If you call, and one of the first 10 listeners to call right now to 833-995-WILL, you're going to enjoy that initial strategy session on him. He's not going to charge you for it. $300 value saved in your pocket because he wants to get to know you and he wants you to have the opportunity to get to know him. You should have your estate plan looked over like every 3 years. I don't know if everybody's really doing that, but circumstances change. People come, people go. It's just life. That's how it goes. So if you have one and you need to have it looked over again, reach out to Sivia Law. If you have not had the opportunity to establish a trust, you need to get to this right away in Missouri and Illinois. 833-995-WILL, online at sivialaw.com.
Hey there, it's Jill Schlesinger. I'm launching a new show. It's called Money Moves, and your money is going to move. We're going to help you make better financial decisions. We're going to call out the BS you're finding all over social media. We're going to give you actionable guidance to make your financial life clearer, less stressful. We're going to answer your financial questions and take the mystery out of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger wherever you get your podcasts.
It is the season for enjoying that backyard, and there's no better way to do it than with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Marc Cox here. For the month of August, they will give you 20% off the bottom line when you mention my name as you reach out to Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Listen, they've been at this since 1968, owned and operated by the same family all of those years, and it makes a difference. And if you look at the beautiful creations they have in their showroom in the Chesterfield Valley, you'll see what I'm talking about. The sunrooms, the screen rooms, the pergolas, the all-season rooms they can put together for you are just fantastic. Now, they do fences and decks as well, of course. And the fences and decks are great because, of course, these days you can get that Vecadec vinyl, which is just maintenance-free and makes your life so much easier. Reach out to them today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about them. It's Chesterfield Fence. FanDuel.com.
Congrats to Spain on being the 2026 World Cup champions. While the World Cup may be over, FanDuel's Every Goal Plays is still going. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
That's my turn to talk, isn't it? YouTube live chat poll: who would win in a game between the WNBA's Las Vegas Aces and a boys' high school state championship basketball team of Clay Travis's choice from Outkick. This is the YouTube live chat poll today. Going to be sharing those results in about 15 minutes or so. So go and vote on the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel, and be sure to share your thoughts with us on the text line 314-241-9797. The time is 2:37. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
All right. Hopefully, one of the things that you're trying to support doesn't bite the dust today. We've got Marc Reardon here in studio on a Missouri primary day. You got a long day ahead of you, Marc.
Yeah, I like election nights, though. I've worked many, many election nights. Primaries are a little different sometimes. They're a little slower, but I think there's enough on the ballot tonight where you can make a case that some of this from Missouri is really important now, even compared to November. Obviously, in November, we'll go across the country. We're going to talk a lot about this Michigan primary tonight. That will be the general election, in November. But these are always fun for me. I like election nights.
Yeah.
I've worked the majority of them over my career, even going back to when I was in Columbia, Missouri at KFRU, this little station there.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the Missouri primary. And if people have questions, listeners have questions right now, they can text them to us at 314-241-9797. You're going to take over the airwaves here at about 3 o'clock, and you're going to give us everything, all your thoughts. But I'm just curious if you feel do you feel a sense of positivity about the outcomes of tonight?
No, I do not. I do not.
Do you feel the opposite way, or just kind of waiting to see what happens?
Well, it depends. Look, on the constitutional amendments, and I'm going to put a caveat on this, okay? Because political predictions are very, very tough. I will take you back to 1992 when I didn't think, and most of the country was like, who's this guy from Arkansas? He can't be president. And then all of a sudden he wins. So just with the caveat that, predictions are hard. Even when Cori Bush took out Lacey Clay Jr. several years ago, people didn't see that coming, right? So I think what's happened here on the amendments is they've done a terrible job of marketing them. The No campaign has done a much more effective job with the scare tactics. So on Amendment 4, which is, the initiative petition process where you would no longer just have a simple majority to pass a constitutional amendment, you'd have to have a majority in each of the congressional districts, right? I don't think that's going to pass. I'll be honest with you, I ended up voting no on that today.
On which one?
On Amendment 4. Because, look, I think the better idea for that would be to raise the threshold, not do it in each congressional district. And they've talked about this, maybe it's 53%, maybe it's 55%. No matter what you would do, you change the margins so it would just not be the population centers of St. Louis and Kansas City deciding that. On Amendment 5, which is the phase out of the income tax, the amount of lies that have been told about this by the opponents, and I guess you should congratulate them because they're winning here, and they're going to end up winning because this thing's going to go down significantly, unfortunately. But they're not going to stop. I was out to dinner last night with Rex Singfield, who's been a big proponent of not only getting rid of the state income tax, phasing that out, but also the earnings tax here in St. Louis. He made it very clear. I'm like, hey, what's going to happen? I think he's aware that this is going to go down, but he's not going to stop. He's going to continue to fund these efforts. And there's a variety of ways to do this moving forward with the Missouri legislature. But I think this is not going to be the best night for Governor Kehoe.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to. We've talked, at least on this show with you and Mark Cox, a lot about Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 and some of those specific things. I do want to ask you your thoughts on Cori Bush, Wesley Bell. Does Cori Bush stand a chance?
You know, I think a lot of the people I ask that question of, they say the same thing. You almost have to give her a chance because of what's happened with the DSA in New York. So you really do, especially if this Israel thing is where people are coming from. And you're going to have a lot of, I think, a fair amount of women are going to come out for this primary. We'll see what the Democrats are. If you ask me deep down, I think Wesley Bell wins this. But I think she's got a shot.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't seem like. I mean, I think she's a kook, but there's no.
But that's the base of the Democrats right now. It really is.
And, a primary, we're talking about turnout.
Yes.
It's not about how the majority of the people feel. It's the majority of the people who vote. And if it's a primary and you've got one side that seems to be, everything hangs on whether or not Cori Bush wins or not for a certain portion of people. If you get 100% of those people to turn out, even though there's not a lot of them, that could make a big difference.
The other aspect here, and David Barkledge did a good job on my roundtable about a week and a half ago breaking this down. Look, a lot of the research is showing you right now, and this is going to play out in November as well, there's a lot of anti-incumbency, right? So sometimes it doesn't matter which party. People are not happy with those in power. This is where Steve Ellman might be in trouble in St. Charles County because Bill Eigel is a strong contender, and people want change. Young people certainly want change. This is why El Sayed has a chance in Michigan, which is kind of scary.
Michigan's getting all the pub today on the national
Well, because
news.
that's a fascinating race. It really is. And if he leads in the polls, and if he's their nominee against Mike Rodgers, I don't know what happens. You'd like to think that sanity is going to prevail, but that is really, danger zone up there with him.
Michigan going red makes the main conversation less, center stage. Maybe Texas, if people think I've seen polls where Tallarico is leading in Texas. I don't imagine.
I just have a hard time. People keep telling me that he's, kind of denting into the lead or maybe pulling even.
Kamala Harris was winning Iowa right before.
Right. Exactly.
So let's pause
man.
for a second and take a deep breath and count to 10.
Yes.
So, I think St. Louis being represented by Wesley Bell, I don't know how you feel. He's come on the show. He came on the show after the tornado thing. I don't know if you have him on. I remember we would ask Cori Bush to come on the show, and there are people, or I don't know if this is a direct quote, but they're like, we don't want to talk to you. Wesley Bell made it work, and it was about an agreeable thing. He's a Democrat. We're not going to agree on stuff.
Exactly.
But he's still come on this station or whatever. How's Wesley Bell for a Democrat to represent?
Okay, well, first of all, just a quick story because Doug High, who was a regular guest on my show, is an RNC spokesperson. When Wesley was first elected, they did this event in Boston at Harvard. And Doug's got I don't know if you've ever had him on, he's got a very deep voice, right? Very recognizable. So he introduces himself to Congressman Bell. This is like the new freshman class. And Wesley says, I know your voice from the Marc Reardon show. So, no, I've never had him on, but I know he listens to us. So every once in a while. But look, he's better for the region from the standpoint that he has cooperated with Ann Wagner and some of the Republicans on things that are important to Missouri economically. His voting record
with the tornado relief. He didn't. He didn't give him the finger and say pound sand when the people of St. Louis.
No, I don't think he's crazy, but he's still going to vote progressive, 98% of the time. And I don't know that he's a serious upgrade from Cori Bush. And there is a strong part of me, and I say this jokingly, Annie, sometimes, but look, she's the gift that keeps on giving. And if you have Cori Bush on this ballot, the national attention is going to come more on Missouri and the DSA, which I think will reflect poorly for national Democrats. So
you think if Cori Bush pulled it off today that maybe it's a net gain for conservative cause?
I do. I kind of do. But there will be people that say, look, you get enough of these people, especially if El Sayed wins in Michigan. The Senate, that's a much different situation than having one of, a House members of 435 people. Now you start getting 10 or 12 or 15. That still doesn't make as much a difference as just one vote in the Senate.
Here's a compliment from the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. Chris says, Marc has some crazy Dems on his show all the time. So they give you your due, and I think the conversation is important. So before we let you go, Marc, because I know you got to get ready for your show starting here on 97.1 FM Talk at 3 o'clock, talk to me about the election coverage. So I want people to know 97.1 FM Talk is the destination for your Missouri primary election results. What's going on?
Yeah, well, the other thing I want to mention is that KMOX, who usually, does this, and I used to host down there, they have a baseball game tonight. So, we'll be doing the coverage here. Former Senator Lamping and I have done this many, many
Great.
times before, probably about a dozen election nights, if you want to know the truth over the years. So we're going to break things down. It might be a little bit slow at the beginning. Rick Stream, who's the Republican elections official in St. Louis County, says 9:30 about for the results there. We have a big county executive race there. So John and I are going to kind of handle things. We'll walk people through Michigan. Scott Jennings is going to be on my show coming up here in a little bit. Usually we would air his show at 8 p.m. I think I'm going to use that interview a couple of times and just kind of play his thoughts back on Michigan. So we'll have a fun night tonight. We'll be here, I'm guessing, until about 10 o'clock or so.
Real quick question before we let you go. We had an X's and Y's question. I said I heard Dave Glover say this in the hall.
Okay.
Like a couple weeks ago, and I wrote it down because it made me laugh. He met a guest who was a large, fit man, and he said, "I don't even know where I would hit you if I got in a fight with you." That was his hello. And so I asked these men that are in here, Ethan and Brad, and eventually Daniel, do you assess, like, if I had, before you say hi and you see another dude, are you like, I think I could beat you in a fight?
I've never done that in my life. The last fight I had was when I was a freshman in high school in the suburbs of Chicago. But no, I've never done that in my life.
Did you win?
Maybe. I think it might have been a draw on that one. But I don't. I'd get my ass kicked. I'll just be honest. I'm like, there's
Brad
no.
says he does a threat assessment on every man he meets.
Who said that?
Brad,
what? How'd you assess me?
You don't want to know.
You could have kicked my ass, right?
I mean, you just did the threat assessment for me, Mark.
I have my daughter has more body strength than I do. Let's just put it that way, and she's 11 years old. So.
Are you quick? Are you spry?
I'm not. Look, I can still look. I play racquetball and pickleball and golf, and I used to ride a bike very seriously. Look, 10 years ago, I was in extremely good shape.
Your escape plan's a bicycle?
Yeah. Well, I rode 130, 140 miles a week when I was a serious
crazy.
cyclist. So
Ethan had his head buried in his hands during your response there.
I was just thinking of Mark running away and hopping on a bicycle. Like, it just.
You know what? I can still kick your ass on a bike. You get on a road bike right now, and I'll smoke you. I promise you.
Absolutely would.
Yeah.
Well, now
no
you
disagreement there.
We really wanted to prime the Marc Reardon Show for entertainment today.
And I thank you for that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're welcome.
it.
We'll be tuning in tonight to the election coverage on 97.1 FM Talk, hosted by Marc Reardon and the best in the business right here at 97.1. We'll be right back. Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com, 314-513-0091. I encourage you to listen to Air Comfort Service's reviews or read them or whatever online, because the amount of service, the amount of people that they've helped in the St. Louis area, and the amount of positive reviews that they've received, they really do speak for themselves. But it's not just residential services like they've done in my home with a brand new HVAC system, air conditioner, furnace, water heater, the cleaning and sealing of the duct system in my home so the house on all 3 floors heats and cools evenly. They do it for commercial buildings as well. So if you have an HVAC concern at work, at the business that you own, operate, or manage, you're going to want to have someone who's going to be able to come out, give you a free second opinion, 314-513-0091, and talk to the people who can handle the job and are going to be honest, good, with integrity when they do the work that you need to have done. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Can't get enough 97.1? Follow us on socials. Facebook, X, Instagram at 97.1 FM Talk, and YouTube at 97.1 FM Talk STL. 97.1 FM Talk. Let's connect.
I want to talk to you about Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com. There are 3 good reasons you should talk with Greg. 1, your health insurance premium is too high. Well, Greg saves most people 30 to 60% on their monthly premiums. 2, your deductible is too high. Well, with most of Greg's plans, you will have no deductible or out-of-pocket expenses. 3, your doctor doesn't take your plan. Well, you can use Greg's plan at most any doctor or hospital in the country. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Greg an expert with over 40 years' experience, at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. Greg will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Because you don't know what you don't know about your health insurance coverage.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
If the WNBA's goal is to become the most inclusive league in the history of ever and to hit a pretty big payday, then they just got the opportunity of a lifetime, thanks to Clay Travis. Introducing the Nashville Balls, the most inclusive team in all of WNBA history. Clay Travis vows to make it a 100% trans team, meaning all players would be men identifying as women. He tweeted this: "I'm prepared to buy a WNBA expansion franchise and locate them in Nashville. I pledge to have a 100% trans team, all men who identify as women. I will also employ a 100% trans coaching staff. Most inclusive team in history." But Clay's not just saying it. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He offered the WNBA $10 million for a head-to-head basketball game between the defending WNBA champions, the Las Vegas Aces, and a boys' high school state title team of his choice. If the boys win, he'll give them $10 million to distribute as they see fit to their team members. Game on pay-per-view with all profits donated to Tunnel to Towers to provide mortgage-free homes to families of deceased soldiers, police, and first responders. If the Aces were to beat the boys team, he would give the WNBA $10 million. And I don't think he's kidding, because he just gave Vanderbilt Law School $10 million. So the WNBA gets to own the title of most inclusive league. They get to showcase their women's ability, and the proceeds go to a good cause. We've heard from virtually every WNBA coach at this point, and the league itself, that inclusivity is in fact the goal. So what say you, WNBA? Just know if you decline the offer, that makes you bigoted transphobes, by your own standard. I'm ready to buy my Nashville Balls merch. I cannot believe this is real life.
That is Riley Gaines talking about the offer that Clay Travis of Outkick.com has put out to the WNBA, saying, all right, let's see if it does make a difference, if it's, men playing in women's sports. The Nashville Balls. I'm telling you what, if you haven't seen Lady Ballers by the Daily Wire or whatever the entity was that put that out, I love that movie, and that movie is so spot on for this moment. I have probably watched that movie 5 times. It's incredible. Go see Lady Ballers. It's exactly the point that Clay Travis is making. I think Clay Travis is in that movie as well. So the YouTube poll for today: who'd win between the WNBA Aces and a boys high school state champs team of Clay Travis's choosing, per his offer that he's put out there. We've got some feedback here on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. A lot of you reacting to whether or not you assess men when you reach them. Scooter said, any pro team losing to a high school team is hard to believe. So, wait, Ethan, you want to weigh in on it? Ethan has entered the chat here. Any pro team losing to a high school team is hard to believe.
Put
the Illinois or Missouri State Championship basketball teams against the Las Vegas Aces. Who you got?
It's the answer's not 100%. It's at least 90%, maybe 85. The large majority of high school state championship boys basketball teams, which are likely full of 17, 18-year-olds playing, would defeat the Las Vegas Aces. Yes, slam dunk, guarantee, put it on the board.
Would it be close?
I mean, it depends on the team because there's so many different teams out there that you could pick from. But I mean, like, you know, you mentioned it earlier, like South Carolina has the
girls team.
The girls team practices against guys from the university.
The
that
men's
just,
club
play,
basketball team.
Yeah.
They don't even play on South. They're not aren't they the Gamecocks?
Yes.
They're not even on the men's basketball team.
The best state championship teams have multiple Division I commits. Which automatically, at that age, they're better than WNBA players. It's because of the physical advantages.
Significant.
This is not hard.
Sophie Cunningham, sizable women's basketball player. Definitely somebody who she's 6'1" and everything. It's pretty incredible. She's going to be small on that floor.
Yes, that is small for college basketball.
Who'd win between the WNBA Aces and the high school state champions team? 90% of you say the champs, the boys high school state champs. Thanks for being with us. Marc Reardon coming up next.